You're now watching the captain.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 3 of Pull List Therapy. I'm your co-host, Captain Diesel, and I'm joined with the usual crazy lady, Dr. Kaori Knight, and a special guest, a fun guest. His first time, being on the channel at all. Shut up. Well, no, because I've used.
Second
I think
time, technically.
I think I've used like 2 of your different like reels like for conversation starters for some streams before. I don't know if you've seen them, but I've used you as like a conversation starter for a couple of different things. But matter of fact. You pronounce your name for me because I always call you JP because I always feel like I'm gonna butcher your name when I pronounce it.
It's J Penumbra. It's
Okay.
it's the status of the eclipse where like the light of the moon and the sun collide, because like I'm a mixed kid, so I wanted to have like something a little significant, like light and dark played and that kind of thing.
Nice.
I've been saying JP number this entire time. Okay, that makes sense.
Wow.
I didn't know. My bad. Jesus Christ.
It's cool. Stuff happens. Like I've been go by JP for so long. Like I used to go by just my name. Then I got into streaming and it had something different. And it's been convenient as time has gone on.
Nonetheless, I'm a fan. So welcome to the channel, big dog.
For people Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, man. Of course. For people that aren't aware of who you are, you want to give anybody a little bit of background on yourself?
For sure. I started out content creation back in 2016. I ran my own comic review website for a few years. Then the pandemic hit and comics fell apart for a while. So I went like gaming and streaming and whatnot. Did that for about 3-4 years. And now I'm back doing mostly comic book content creation. That's been a lot of fun. Been working with some publishers to do some cool stuff recently. Just dropped a new vid talking about the history of Black Lightning. That was depressing, but it's a nice thing to be back here talking about stuff the first day of Black History Month. I'm really happy to be here.
I think I just saw that video before the stream started up too. That was dope. Funny enough, because I read the 5-issue series last year. I think it was last year, the year before that came out, and I was like, "Oh, this is hard." Let me see what he has done any other stuff. I was like, "Damn, for somebody that's been around this long, he ain't got shit."
Collectively, he has 35 issues total of his own solo content. Otherwise, he's been in some Justice League stuff. He's been in some Outsider stuff. Like, that's why it was so hard watching the TV show, because I was like, what y'all gonna make content out of? And then they got to season 3, they started pulling Outsider stuff, and I'm like, y'all must be desperate. Like, y'all struggling. And it was heartbreaking, because like he's one of my favorite superheroes of all time. I talk about how like my dad saw me reading a Batman comic when I was real young, and that he wanted to be sure I had Black heroes. So he went to the comic shop. I know in other of my comics, he had saw Blade like twice, and he got me Captain America and Falcon the Priest version, and he got me the original like Jenny Isabella Black Lightning comics. And ever since then, like Sam and Jefferson are my dudes. So like that's always been my thing.
See, y'all two look cool because you have parents that like endorsed your nerd habits and were nerds themselves. My mom didn't know nothing about this shit. I get a lot of my early experience to like games and movies, and like Ultimate Alliance is like a big eye opener for me for when it comes to comics. Because I didn't know what an LCS was until I was like 16. Because she wouldn't take us none of that shit until I got my own car and went myself. So Kara's like, oh yeah, my dad had over thousands of comics in the house. I'm like,
listen. And the reason that we have 6,423 comic books is because I contributed to them, because prior to that, we didn't have that many. We did, but
to be fair, I didn't really like. I fell off for a while because like once my dad stopped being around, my mom was like, "You need to get out of Batman Land and stuff like that," and took me out for a few years. Then I went to college and got back in. So there was like a 4 or 5 year gap where I fell off, and then I came back around the time like DC Rebirth was starting and whatnot. So I definitely have had my time, my gaps and whatnot.
Hey man,
I can't help my dad's been collecting comic books since he was in the 3rd grade, so
that's fair.
Jesus. But we back though. We all ended up at the same place. That being said, us all being people of color, I felt like we needed to have a conversation because it is the first, at least as of now, it's the 1st of February, Black History Month. It has begun. And as we know, I think we've all made content around it, or at least had conversations about it in particular. DC and Marvel don't know how to act when it comes to Black History Month and this Black characters as a whole. I feel like at this point, I've beaten this dead horse as far down as I can, because I did like 2 separate videos, a stream on this, and now we're doing another stream on this because it's Black History Month. But I find it I will say this. I do think DC is doing a lot better in regards to implementing their Black characters, just due to the factor of I know we have an ongoing and Absolute Green Lantern now with Sojourner. We have, I think Firestorm is coming with the ongoing in this new initiative. Is that not happening anymore?
It's not Jason. It's Ronnie.
Oh wow. Oh my god. Never mind.
Jeff Lemire's writing Ronnie. He's not writing Jason. Like I told everybody that was gonna happen, and nobody believed me. And then they went, bam!
Every
It's
time.
Jason.
Every single time I say it all the time, and I know JP's heard me say it on my page on TikTok.
Yo.
DC don't like black people for real, and every
Like,
time I
put out a
say
meme one
that,
time.
everybody be getting on me, getting me. Yes, they do. I'm like,
well, no, it's funny because like her content made me make the meme, the Kanye West meme. I made like that where he said George Bush hates black people. I made a DC Comics hates black people meme, and people roasted me for it. It's like, am I wrong?
Am I tripping? Because I said, let me tell you. So I had like this one girl, I can't remember the character's name, but it's two characters actually. There was one character who was part of this team, as part of a trio. She's the only black girl in the trio, and she was the most powerful girl in the trio. And like her powers were moon based. And I remember doing this. She's in my comic book characters. No. I had my grievings about her too, but no, this was like an 80s character, and she was in a Batman Superman story, and she saved Batman's ass. And at first they were villains, but then Superman gave his little bullshit "we should be friends" speech, power of friendship, whatever the fuck, and then she was like, "Oh well, let me help Batman," because I think Batman got injured. She was probably the most powerful one of the trio. They ended her continuity, period. Like she does not exist in the database anymore after Infinite Crisis. I said, they were like, I've never heard of her before. You're kidding. That's crazy, because I said that. I said, and then they have Bruce Wayne with all of these fucking black women. He put this black woman in danger and refuses to let her die. He just has her incapacitated as a vegetable inside Arkham and pays for her to be a vegetable.
You talking about Duke's mama?
No.
Oh,
it's another.
Duke's parents are a whole different conversation. They own right.
Duke's parents are a whole different conversation, but this was a woman that he was dating, and he was so in love with her prior to him dating Jezebel Jet. By the way, her name being Jezebel pissed me off.
I forgot about her.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Prior to him dating Jezebel Jet, who is an African warlord princess queen with a name like Jezebel, and she got decapitated by fucking Talia al Ghul for whatever reason.
By his baby mama? That's crazy. That's tough.
Yes. And so this woman he was dating, her brother was a villain, I think, and he injured her. And Batman felt so bad about it that he put her in Arkham and just leaves her as a vegetable and pays for her to be there as a vegetable. I said, why are we doing that? Why are we doing any of those things? You're not going to let her die?
It breaks my heart.
To address the chat, Mr. Akli, I'm butchering his name.
God, you were so...
Look, leave me the fuck alone. Oh my God. Okay, tonight I can't speak.
At least he's making an effort. He's not just leaving it hanging. Like, at least he's speaking on it.
He says, talk solutions, not problems. We will get to solutions, but we have to.
We'll get to solutions. Like, because I have my own grievances and whatnot. I'll speak on that because, like, I made a whole campaign talking about it's been 1,000 days since DC and a black character have an ongoing. Marvel ain't much better. I'm about to make a video called Start the Clock because Marvel don't got an ongoing for a black character as of this past week because Miles just ended. Like, everyone keeps me in my DMs or in my mentions. They're like, what about Storm? What about Storm? Storm is a mini-series, and even though they told Merwe Ayodele that it was going to be an ongoing, it says of 5 on the solicitation. So they're even lying to the writer and saying that it's going to be an ongoing when it's not. So Marvel and DC have their own problems. They're on fraud watch because they genuinely don't care about black characters unless it's a mini to pad out a movie or a TV show appearance that they need to put out for 5 minutes, and it's annoying.
And people were enjoying
Marvel is killing. Yeah, Marvel is. I at first I was like, you know what, Marvel does a little bit better because they were doing much better with including black characters and then giving black characters more prominence in the thing. Like when it came to Blood Hunt, they were introducing particular characters and then using Blade to be kind of like the anchor of that story. I thought that was great because y'all hadn't done anything with Blade in forever. So, and then you ended up giving Blade a series off of that. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm fine with that.
You gave him a Red Band series too that was really good.
Right.
Nah, fuck
I
that.
said you.
Fuck
I
that.
said, but then you turned around and you put Brielle in like a series that nobody was reading with characters that nobody gave a fuck about. And I said that you could ask Charlie. I said if they're going to give her anything, she's going to be in a book with people that nobody give a shit about. She was in there with Electra and she got kidnapped by a tree. I was like, what is happening?
You're right. I forgot about that. It's sitting behind me too.
Blood Hunt pissed me off so bad. Because right before Blood Hunt came out, I like discovered Brio. Like I read the whole Bloodline. I was like, I love this character.
Because I told you that they were going to be using her.
Okay, damn. All right, shit. I did a whole video on her and I gave you props for it. All right, damn. Fell in love with her. Went into Blood Hunt and I'm like, oh, they're gassing her up to be a bigger thing. Like she's going to be the thing that beats her dad. Cool. Moon Knight out your ass last minute. Yeah. Save the day. What the fuck? Where's he been this whole time? What are we doing? Why is the white man out of nowhere? Fuck Mark. I don't give a fuck about Mark.
No one cares about Mark. Let's be real here. But like,
Hold on, pause. Hey.
I have my grievances with Mark. Most of them are Marvel rivals, based on my keeping a stack with you.
Leave my man alone. Okay,
but like
he's going through it right now. Okay?
I know, right? He really is. But it's funny because
right
it's you can tell Blood Hunt and subsequently that the Brian Hill series were meant to pivot into the movie, and then the movie got delayed, and now we don't know what the hell's happening, and it's just like. Genuinely, they like Blade could have kept going. Brian said he had more plans for Blade, and they were like, "Nah, what 10 issues? That's all you get is 10 issues, homie." I'm like, ridiculous.
To get into the main topic though, because I wanted to get into like a lot of the coincidental stuff that comes out around Black History Month. This month in particular is some egregious shit for both Marvel and DC. But I want to start with a return of a fan favorite character and a character that. There's a special place in a lot of our hearts. That being Mr. Static himself. We saw in the latest, I think it's like a spinoff of DCKO that's featuring the new Teen Titans essentially, where
the kids are all fight.
Yeah. We see Static make a return and they're all fighting Granny Goodness, and he essentially is just like, hey, bro, y'all came and fucked up my city. I guess I gotta come back now. Ha 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 ha. And just pulls up and fucks them up. And at the end of that book, we see a full team, what it's gonna look like in regards to Static being there, Fairplay, the son of Mr. Terrific, being there, and a character I had never heard of, Quiz Kid, who's like another like a spin-off sidekick of Mr. Terrific.
He's the son of Terry Sloan, the original Mr. Terrific, because they found him and Fairplay got like stolen as babies and raised by Granny Goodness. So like because Mr. Terrific thought his kid was dead. He thought his kid died with his wife in the car crash. But then come to find out, Granny Goodness whisked him and Quiz Kid off and raised him on Apocalypse or whatever for God knows how many years.
Yeah. When I saw Quiz Kid, I was like, but you know what? This event. Somebody in the comment section on my TikTok was like, Kayori, they must have heard you or saw your videos, because now all I see is fucking Amazing Man. I said, first of all, Amazing Man being in the book is crazy as fuck to me, because y'all went digging in the absolute trenches for Amazing Man. And then when I saw Marilyn Moonlight on the team, I said, oh yeah, no, they heard me. Because I was off on them for several videos about the fact that y'all put her in here in 2022, 2023 in May 17th, actually, and then had her beat Superman's ass and leave.
Yup. And then they put her on that weird team, but they did put her on the Terrific 10, and it was like, what happened to Marilyn? Where's she on the Terrific 10? Why is the Batman Beyond Tim Drake here, but not her? Why is it Mr. Terrific and the minorities over the white people? And it's like, what's going on?
Because when they did Absolute Power and they had the one comic book with all the black people in it, and it had the worst art that I'd ever seen in my life, and you couldn't tell what the fuck was going on with all the colors, I said, y'all better not put her in that book. If you put her in that book, I'm going to be pissed, because what is happening? I have no idea what the hell I'm looking at. I saw Vixen.
That's all she got.
I saw Vixen. She ran, and that was it. I was like, why are there so many colors spilling into this one page? And why do all the black people, y'all threw a block party?
So what we got on that page is not it. There's another thing. If you look at the bottom left panel, let me pull this back up for people. The bottom left panel of this page, where you're seeing Static make his first appearance in God knows how long, you see what they say, you'll see more. You'll find out about where Static has been in the new history of the DC universe. The Dakota incident. It's going to drop on February 25th. I think it's the exact date.
FOC is Monday. FOC is Monday. Make sure you pre-order that shit at your comic shop. FOC is Monday.
I need to add it to my pull box when I go back over. But that being the case, we know that we're getting a new history of the whole Dakota incident is going to come on the 25th, and we're going to get to see a lot more about where Static has been. And I think from the cover that I saw, it was like Hardware's on there as well as Rocket. I think Icon, I can't remember. I gotta look at the cover.
Icon's on there, yeah. And then Joseph Illich said on Twitter that Blood Syndicate will also be included.
So I'm like, how big is this issue going to be to include all these motherfuckers in this, or how long is this run? Is it going to be? Because
if it's a single issue,
they said it's like 40 some pages. There's going to be a lot of content.
If it's a single issue, it's like 40 to 50 pages.
Because we know we're not getting no ongoing. I'm like, we're not getting no ongoing with all these characters. We know how about how they about to do them.
Let's be serious.
But I'm like, it's funny that like, okay, you're dropping this at the end of February. Well, what are you going to do with these characters after the fact? And I think that's a lot of the issue that I have.
You get 3 variant covers dropped by Tori Clark for Black History Month.
You don't get a damn thing afterwards. They're literally just like, here, damn.
No.
Y'all getting on my fucking nerves.
Like that's we're not even like people joke about it on Twitter. Like we're not even getting the like DC Power handout book this year from Marvel or DC. We're not even getting a Black History Month handout book. We're getting variant covers, and then conveniently Black Panther's 60th anniversary is this month, so we're getting a Black Panther 60th anniversary one shot. His 60th
anniversary is even. I think it's like in fucking April, isn't it? When he first officially came out.
Oh, that is right. It is in April. My bad.
So like, you're doing it in Black History Month for
February, which is hilarious.
So why are you forcing it?
Because Black people. What? Come on.
You like variant covers, right, Black people? Of like books you're not reading?
Here, take our gift for your month or whatever, so you can shut up.
Quick citation on that. Shout out to my boy Eater Messias, who did. I think he's either doing a cover, he's doing some art for that issue. So shout out to him. But to continue this on, I'm collecting all the fucking evidence here before we get an ass. Moving to the Marvel side of things, right? We got an announcement that on the 25th, again, coincidentally during Black History Month, the Ultimates number 20, not the 21st, the Ultimates issue 21 was going to drop, and it's going to debut a particular character on the cover, that character being Luke Cage. Making this like, what is, I don't know about this fit, gang. I don't know, the chains, the Power Man chains, I've never been a big fan of. A black man wearing chains as fit is kind of crazy as a whole.
No, I remember a time during 1994 and 5 when the founders of Milestone hated Luke Cage so much for being a black
that fucking character.
They made a caricature
fucking jive, and it bothers the outside. I hate that I even did a video on him, because every time he had a chat bubble and he started talking about some jive Turk, I was
Sweet
like,
Christmas.
Stop.
Well, no, they make fun of it because genuinely, like yes, Luke Cage is born from the blaxploitation movement, but like the founders of Milestone hated that he was just what a white person thought a black character should be, so they just continually cloud on him as a character. And it's like, I feel you, I get it, but like that's all y'all had. So I understand the resentment. So for who I forget who, I think it's Chris Condon who is writing this, like. Or like it's either Dennis Camp, or maybe Dennis Camp. Like you really did Ultimate Luke Cage in nothing but chains. It reminds me how freaking Goliath is still dead in the Marvel universe, and he was a giant human that was buried in chains in a book called Civil War, and we never addressed that. But like,
hey, look at this nigga's face, bro.
But you know what? It doesn't surprise me that this is what they decided to do, because I recall a book. It was a What If book, and they had Miles Morales as Thor walking around in rap lyrics.
Oh God!
Talking about this is my Asgard is my hood and it's all good, wearing fucking high top Jordans and a fucking hoodie.
Who approved this?
Like,
look, man.
His hammer was graffitied, talking about buy Odin's fade and Odin's
fade.
But like, I will give Cody Ziegler this. Buy Odin's fade was only a mess up because the artist didn't give Odin a fade. So like,
right? I'm like, how are you buy Odin's fade and Odin's bald as shit?
Right, like because Cody Ziegler like straight up said it wasn't my fault. I wrote the line, and the artist didn't know I wrote the line, and I was like, damn, that sucks.
That being so, have I been reading Ultimates? I tapped out Ultimates a while back.
I tapped out on Ultimates. I did not care about anything. The only Ultimate story that I was reading was a Wolverine.
I'm still
not even Black Panther.
Nah, yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I do cover UBP. I do have Ultimate Black Panther.
I fell off of it. I'm gonna be honest with you, because like I grew resentful of it, because how you gonna tell me you gonna have a Ultimate Black Panther book, but then not have an ongoing Black Panther book? Like I became very resentful of that. Like, come on, give me something. And then even now, this like intergalactic miniseries he has spinning out of this
Black Tavius. It's too much.
Hey, I said I
Black
was
Tavius
reading that
is too
shit.
much.
I was reading that shit. I was reading issue 2 last night, and I sent her the screenshot. I said, "This nigga's name is what?"
Gunther.
I tried to keep a straight face. I couldn't.
For me.
Like,
because I read it before he sent it to
villains.
me. I met him before I read it before he sent it to me, and I literally screamed in my room. Like, you cannot be for real. It has to be a joke.
That being the case, so I asked that question to ask, do y'all even remember how involved Luke Cage was in the Ultimate storyline as a whole in general?
In the original Ultimate universe, I think he was in like
this one. In this one only right now.
Well, I don't even think I think that that's gonna be like his premiere, is that? But I haven't.
Yeah, I think that's his premiere in the Ultimate universe. But prior to, but I honestly don't know, because I did not read the Ultimates.
Yeah, same.
So there lies my issue. His first appearance happens to be during Black History Month, and we put him on the cover. I'm like, okay, we didn't want to bring this thing in before. Then I remember seeing a panel. I think Ernie may have posted his panel where it was showcasing like the Ultimates, like the new Avengers team, and all the Black people were off to the left in shadow, and all the white people were like, you couldn't see their faces and shit. So I'm like, okay, gang. At this point, it's getting blatant. It's
just a choice you're making at this point, and it breaks my heart, because even with the main continuity, you have Luke Cage is the mayor of New York City, no comic book. Blue Marvel is one of the strongest characters in your universe, no comic book. Monica Rambeau is the second strongest character in your universe, no comic book. Had a miniseries with
she had a miniseries, and then they
that was it. And it's like Storm is being positioned to be this super powerful character. Not only is she not in Doomsday, because you didn't call Halle Berry, but you like you keep playing with it. Oh, it's a mini. Oh, it's an ongoing. It's a mini. It's an ongoing. And it's like y'all ain't doing no favors to nobody. Miles is being left in miniseries hell right now, because you have him in Spider-Versity and now a spinoff of the Ultimate Universe. And it's just like, what are y'all doing? Who is making the decisions here to blatantly leave Black people off the table? It doesn't.
You know who needs to be in charge of Marvel comic books? Kevin Feige. He needs to be in charge of Marvel comic books the way he's fucking in charge of the Marvel movies. Because god damn it,
it puts me in a tough position, because I'm really of the belief of voting with your dollar in regards to what you want to see. So part of me is like, I don't want to give any money towards this bullshit. But the other part of me is like, they're going to look at the numbers and see that these books with Black people in them aren't going to sell at all, and they're just not going to make them at all, period. So it's like, okay, do I just accept that they're not going to do it? They're not ever going to do us justice, or just say, yeah, I'm not going to give the money, period.
We have to endure Black Tavius. We have to endure all this nonsense. It's the same thing that, like, remember when people were mad at John Ridley's writing and Eve Ewing's writing for the last Black Panther series. And it's like, y'all do realize that if you don't support this, we're not going to get anything at all, right? And I ended up being right, because now we're living in a world where your most grossing Oscar-winning movie in your universe doesn't have an ongoing series. What sense does that make?
I thought he was going to get more love after Blood Hunt, because they were just doing, because he spent so much time in Blood Hunt doing cool shit. Like, oh, he's a vampire now. That's badass. I fuck with that. And then just into him not doing anything, and okay, cool. And the Intergalactic, now I was like, you know what? Let me show some Black Panther some love. I haven't read a good Black Panther story in a minute. I'm reading Intergalactic. I'm like, okay, what are we doing here?
For them to and then all of them are clones of him or whatever the fuck, and I'm like, what? I'm confused.
Why is Spider-Man villains and Spider-Man DNA so involved in the story? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, it's very. They haven't gotten to, because the boy that Shuri's talking to, that whole entire world that he's in is because of his father, who he buried, and he saved the little boy, buried the little boy's father, but the little boy's father was doing all of that because of I can't. I feel like he said Killmonger, but I don't even fucking remember who he said. But I was just sitting here like, what the fuck was Killmonger's obsession with Spider-Man and his villains? I'm confused.
Right.
When did that even fucking happen?
It's very odd. It's very weird choices.
And then his clone is talking to M'Baku, and then his clone is also Blacktavius, and then he's there, and I'm like, huh?
I have such a vendetta against that M'Baku thing, bro. Because like I have such a vendetta.
I hate everything.
It's so frustrating because they were so concerned about M'Baku being in the movies. They didn't know how to rewrite Man-Ape as a character to make it not problematic.
Without being racist.
So they were like, let's just make him a jokey joke character in the movie and then give them a new version of the character from space because somehow we have space Wakandans now. And it just so weird. Like I remember the day Marvel Legacy came out and they showed the intergalactic kingdom of Wakanda. I texted my brother and was like, space Wakandans? That's the best y'all got is space Wakandans?
I didn't even remember how we even got the Wakandans to fucking space. I was like, where did this even fucking come from?
One day I just saw a book and they were in space. I'm like, what the fuck?
It was just apparently
I don't remember
elsewhere. Like when the vibranium came down,
Anjoutica was the one who led them because he had a symbiote version of the Black Panther suit. Because I did a video where that suit is included, and I'm like, I don't even know where this fucking suit is from, and it's like a symbiote version of the Black Panther suit, and it was from that, and I don't even remember how we got there. I was like, how did we even get to this? But Marvel sent me, or not Marvel, but the writer of that book in particular, because I feel like it was Ta-Nehisi Coates, sent me the novel for it.
Yeah, I think you told me about
and
that.
I have yet to read it. It's literally still sitting downstairs.
A novel, yeah.
It's like, it's a novel that happens, I guess, prior to that and explains things. And I have yet to read it because I'm sitting here like, I don't feel like I care enough.
See, y'all got the insider scoop shit. I don't have the insider scoop yet. I ain't there yet. That being said, obviously, like we promised my minute. I know his name has to do with like the quote unquote original name of Africa, so I know what his name means, but I just can't pronounce the shit at all. He wants solutions to this stuff, and like I mentioned before, the difficulty is if we don't spend money on these books, they don't get made at all, and if we do spend money on them, we're supporting bullshit. How do we go about like demanding what better representation out of Marvel and DC?
So I proposed when I made the original 1,000 Days video, I specifically proposed a solution. 3 ongoings per publisher. They need to actually put time and development into promoting them. Not just rely on a couple social media blasts, not just relying on the creators to promote them, not praying and hoping that the comic shops promote them. You need to actually communicate like this is 2026. Reach out to creators, reach out to actual like content creators and speak to us, have us work with people. Explain to the public what FOC is, because there are still so many people that don't understand what final cutoff order is. They don't understand what pre-order means. I remember the day I explained it to somebody in a video that you walking into a comic shop and grabbing a book off the shelf does not count as a sale. Their mind was blown. Because the sales that you see on the Comic Hub sales charts every month, the sales that Marvel and DC care about, the only sales that matter are what the comic shop orders, which is technically the pre-order. So they'll even tell you. Like I remember when Black Panther and the Crew came out, that book went from being an ongoing to a 6-issue mini within 24 hours of FOC closing because it had so little pre-orders. And I asked different comic shops. I was like, "Hey, what happened? Why did this occur?" They said, "Oh, I bought like 1 or 2 for my subscribers, and then 1 or 2 for the shelf." Versus you look at a book like Batman gets like 20, 30, 40, 50, etc. pre-orders, plus variant covers, plus incentive covers, versus a black character who gets like maybe 1 or 2 per comic shop, and that's it. So when you explain that to people, their mind gets blown. It's like the publishers need to actually explain what FOC is. And if they don't explain what pre-orders and FOC actually mean and rely on us to do that, it's problematic. And then people need to stop thinking digital matters. They need to stop thinking trades matter, because trades don't matter. You can't just wait and hope and pray I can buy it in a trade later, because by then it's already canceled. And that's the biggest thing, is that you need to focus on the single issues and create them. But then I found out later from Al Letson, when I interviewed him, pre-orders of trades do matter. But if you buy a trade on Amazon months later, it don't really matter at that point. So if you give a series 12 issues, 18 issues, you give it the opportunity to get 1 or 2 trades to the potential to pre-order. But if you don't, by then it's canceled and no one had a chance to read it. And it's so funny too, because you see right now people are finding the compact edition of the Milestone Return static book, and they're freaking out like, this is so good, I want to read more of this. Where can I read it? You can't. It's canceled.
I have that. They sent that to me.
Mm-hmm.
They just send you all this shit on. That's crazy.
I'm jealous. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm about to start hating. What the hell?
One of the writers for one of the stories in the book was like, "What's your address? I'm going to send this to you," because I met him at a con, and I was like, oh, "Okay, cool." I said, "Yeah, here you go," and he sent it to me.
Yeah, I've been criticizing Marvel and DC too much lately. I think I killed that.
Oh, I don't care. I don't care about criticizing Marvel and DC all the fucking time, and I will, because that's how Marilyn Moonlight got put in that goddamn book.
That being the case, to kind of expound to your point for people, because I've explained this to people a lot when I've made different videos explaining like, kind of, there's a lot of bad narratives around the comic community as a whole. When I would say around the community, I think people that are in the nerd community but not really understanding how comics work themselves, where they're like, oh, well, comics are really expensive to collect. I'm like, if you're wanting to buy 15,000 books at once, sure.
Exactly.
Then I explain the concept of a pull list or a pull box, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? Yes. At least every shop that I've been to, I know I've heard there's like a few shops that don't have them. I find it hard to believe.
I heard the weirdest thing the other day. Somebody told me that their comic shop doesn't let you just pre-order one book. You have to pre-order the whole series or pre-order multiple books to have a pull list. I thought that was the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
But I guess it depends on the shop, because there's the shop that I always go to. It's like their pull list is a membership. And it's like $5 a year, which I don't care.
That's weird.
So, but it's $5 a year for, I think it's like 200 comic books to be pooled. And I said, I read about that much. So
my shop is, you want to pre-order a book, come pick it up in a week, like in a month. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but they don't make you pay for, because you have the little membership or whatever, they don't make you pay for pre-orders. Like, if you want them to order a variant cover for you specifically, they will order it on their dime versus you having to pay for the actual book. And I'm like, I'm fine with that, I guess. I don't
What
care.
shop do you go to? Hold on, talk to them.
I live in Vegas, so we have a bunch of shops. But there's just one in particular that I go to that's like the closest to my house. Gotcha. And they were like, we love you so much, we follow all your content. I said, yeah, I was shouting y'all out a couple times, but sometimes I forget.
Yeah, that's kind of sketchy. Because I do feel like there's a lot of things within the community as a whole that needs to change to kind of get better.
But some comic book shops make you pay for, if you want a variant cover, you have to pay for it. Like, you have to pay for the book.
Yeah, that's how. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
but I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I'm saying, like, this one,
cover to get the variant cover is what you're saying.
Yes, this one, if you have the little pull list, if you have the pull list membership, which is like their little $5 a year, if you want a book that has a variant cover, instead of you paying for the book, they just order the book for you. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay for a separate book.
Yeah, my shop.
I just buy multiple copies. If I want to buy multiple copies, or I'll just buy the variant cover instead of buying.
Sometimes they, like, if there's, because mine, like, they have the variant covers there, and yeah, of course, if I want a variant cover and it's already there, then I will go ahead and get it. If there's a variant cover that I want that they don't have in the shop, they will order it. I don't have to pay for it. I just go pick it up. Got you.
Okay, we're trying to like wrap my head around what you're throwing down, and
so like for Blood Hunt, there was the covers that you put the covers together and it has like the pictures.
I was pissed off. I'm missing one. I'm missing the one, and I don't have the one to this
but
day.
then there was like another book during that time that had a variant cover to that, and they didn't have it in the shop. And I was like, damn, y'all ain't got what I want. And he was like, which is it? And I showed him the cover. He was like, okay, cool, I'll put the order in for you. He's like, just come pick it up. And I was like,
I think I think that's because like recently Penguin and Lunar have made it easier to rebuy. Like later on, you can like reorder some things if they have inventory left. So that might be what he's talking about, but I don't know what else that could be.
Well,
like,
Carol, you said that never came in. Remember, I asked you to pre-order that for me.
Yeah, it never came in. Because he said when he went to go order it for you, it was sold out from wherever they ordered from. So they didn't have any other ones. But I'm saying like if there is like if you were to walk into this comic book shop right now with a variant cover in mind, and they do not have it in the store, and you have the pull list membership with that store, if you say I'm looking for this cover but y'all don't have it in here, they're like, I will order it for you, just come pick it up. You don't have to pay for it because you're part of their little membership thing. You just come back in and pick it up and take it home.
That's very interesting. I'm not gonna lie to you. What about incentive covers? Like, what about like if they just don't hit the incentive for the cover? Like, how does incentive covers work?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't ask them.
Oh, okay. Because incentive covers are a very interesting conversation in their own right. Like, perfect example, I always tell people about how I wanted the incentive number one cover for Mr. Terrific Year 1 that Dennis Cowan did. This book was a 1 in 25, meaning that you had to your store would have to buy 25 of the cover A to get one of these. And my shop got like one for me and one for the shelf. I'm lucky here in Ohio where I'm like 20, 30, 45 minutes. I have 8 shops within a drive of me. I went to every single one. They didn't get one of these. Thankfully, Al Letson was like, hey, yo, what's your address? I'll hook you up. But like, because I interviewed him for my show, but like otherwise I would have had to get this off of eBay. I went to 3 different cons, nobody had it. Like this is a legendary artist right here, one of the founders of Milestone, and they made this an incentive cover. What? Like, for a book you knew wasn't going to sell well, you made this an incentive cover? Have you lost your damn mind? Like, it's a whole issue in its own right.
So it's a lot of, again, in saying this, because we're going to get into a conversation later about the community as a whole. All the issues, I'm not going to put all on Marvel and DC. I think a lot of it does stem from part of it does stem from us, and a lot of the bad narratives have been pushed around. Because I do think inherently, and again, we'll get into this later, I think the rise of like manga and anime have kind of like moved a lot of people's thought process about comics to the side even more so than what they were beforehand. But getting into a lot of the issues we have around this shit, to your point, you need to promote the books. You need to make sure that people are having an idea of how to communicate to the shops what they want. Because again, to your point, I think a lot of people still have the misconception that you just buying it off the shelf works when it's the shop they don't go off of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff, I think, it's a conversation I've had around. I wonder if it's in the best interest of Marvel and DC to like invest in some mom and pop shops, because I think there are so many like comic book shops around that just don't get. They have to operate in a way to keep their fucking lights on. So they have to keep 15,000 issues of X-Men on the back shelf because those are the ones that's going to sell. They don't have all the capacity to buy all the indie stuff or all the black stories because they know they're not going to sell like that. So I can't buy 1 million of those like I would want to. Because it's tough. It's a whole thing, but I do think it starts at the top with Marvel and DC as a corporation because they have the money to market. I just think they're not choosing not to.
Most definitely. Like there's been times where they've invested in stores. I remember when DC Rebirth came out, they made every book returnable because they wanted to give comic stores the opportunity to buy into certain things, try new stories and whatnot. Or like Marvel, despite how insane it was, Marvel was like, hey, here's some PR money. All you got to do is dress your shop up like it's a Hydra depot for a secret empire and say Hail Hydra and put your arms up like a Nazi and you get some free promotion material.
I remember that because in chat, one of the the comic book store in chat did that. I remember that.
It's wild. It's crazy. And it's like to your point though, is that like the indie people, especially like some stores don't even know that Ignition Press just started making books, but even though they have a whole FX TV show. like the recent collaboration with Stephanie Williams, Roots of Madness, is one of the best books out right now, and that no one's freaking reading. Like Beauty is a whole TV show on FX, but no one knows about this publisher. Vault Comics is really good at what they do. Mad Cave is
Oni
really
Press
good.
too.
Oni Press is kicking ass. Like, and Oni Press used to be Lion Forge and Oni used to be two different things, and they got merged together, and now you have a great black talent at Oni, and it's like all this great stuff is coming about, but no one knows about it because the publishers don't have the opportunity to get into the shops because they have to survive off of Marvel and DC. I tried to tell my story about what Ignition was. They were like, oh, it's on the Lunar catalog, so we can buy it for you, but we're not going to buy it for anybody else because no one knows about it. And it's like, well,
I can't argue with you. Like, I get why. Like, I'm mad, but I can't be too mad at you because I understand why this is. And I think that's where some of that comes into the consumer point of thing. Because there is like, I don't know if you guys have had this issue, but whenever I make a video trying to like tell people, hey, give other indie titles a chance. Like, you know, in your journey to buy 15 Spider-Man books, put one aside and get a fucking Roots of Madness. And like, you can't tell people what to buy with their own money. Whoa there, bud. I remember this shit.
I haven't actually experienced that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't had that because I made a whole thing where I kind of called out a lot of people on TikTok. I'm like, because I had interviewed a comic shop in New York City. The owner was like, the big issue that I have recently is that all the TikTokers and the people on Instagram making new comic book day videos, all they care about is Absolute, DCKO, and the Ultimate stuff, and a little bit of Spider-Man here and there. That's all they're posting about, since all my subscribers are buying. And I was like, well, let me see if I can make a change. And I called out some big creators, and I said, hey, why don't you encourage some of your people to pick up an Image or a Vault or Ignition? And they were like, you know what? JP has a point. And they started like making videos, trying to say they were calling out this, that, and the third. I'm like, we're making change. I haven't had anybody toxic like that come up. Yeah, I haven't had that.
Gang, I've had them not so much on YouTube because that's one thing. I'm mad as fuck. I'm probably gonna start doing more books on indie titles, like for reels and short stuff, for the factor of I did a full video on Temporal, and this is like after other videos I did pretty well. That shit tanked. But if I have too many other videos tank on my channel, it's gonna kill me in the fucking algorithms. Like I can't do a bunch of, and I love Stephanie Williams. Like she's probably one of my favorite writers right now. But I can't do a million Temporal videos in full like that because it'll kill my channel. So I got to start kind of making them shorts and putting them on TikTok and
that's what I would do. Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, because I made one video shouting out Ignition Press, and they were in my DMs like, "Hey, thank you for this. Can we send you a package?" I was like, "I'm not gonna say no to that."
Listen, I think I did the same. It wasn't on YouTube. It was on TikTok when I did Dusu from Stranger Comics, and he messaged me and he was like, "Hi Kaori, I'm gonna send you a package. What's your address?" And then I saw him at the con, and he was like, "Oh, it's my favorite girl."
He's a cool British dude.
I was like, hi.
It's like because they appreciate the fact, and also they notice more from like, because truthfully, YouTube isn't what it used to be in terms of like the comic book space. Like, yeah, you got your legacy folks like Joel and Comic Pop and whatnot, but it's like you are gonna see more traction on the reels and the TikToks because those are the people making the content. Those are the people that are paying attention to that 7-second video or whatever the heck. And you'll see even now, like the publishers are making whole videos shouting out what FOC is. So like they're paying attention to those platforms more. They even got a guy working over at Image making TikTok videos and stuff. So like they're paying attention over there.
Image,
which is pretty cool.
Dark Horse, Mad Cave, Dynamite Comics or Dynamite Entertainment, whichever one they want to call themselves. I just want them to know that I love them because Blue Falcon and Dynamite.
You were going hard for Captain Planet for a little bit too.
Man,
I did.
Read it?
Captain Planet was good as shit. Oh my god!
I interviewed Dana Bethos about that shit. I was glazing him. I was glazing him about it. Him on Space Ghost. Him on Speed Racer. That is a white man who knows what the hell he's doing, man. Like I love him to death. Like I love his work.
I bought the first issue. I think I bought a variant cover. I'm like, oh, this looks dope. Let me support a indie. I have not read it yet. I got it in the box back here somewhere. I need to read
Space Ghost is season 2 of Space Ghost is fucking amazing. First of all, Speed Racer from Mad Cave, hell yeah! Oh my god!
Like it blows your mind.
Yes, and then fucking it just ended, but I said I need a season 2 of this one also. But Blue Falcon and Dynamite, where they made Dynamite a fucking murderer. Absolutely, yes. When he said a good boy or a good dog always obeys his master, and I am a good dog. Absolutely, yes.
Or like where the whole thing with Captain Planet was the idea that like, oh, the toxins in the air that y'all have polluted the
Yes.
earth were so bad, I can't stay informed as long as I want to anymore. I was like, damn,
Yes,
we fucked
yes,
up the planet this bad that Captain Planet can't even save us.
That's fucking tough.
man. And then when what's his face got shot, when Wheeler got shot, and he was like, oh, I'm about to kill him. I said,
It's wild, bro. Because like you have two great writers. You have Mark Russell, the dude who did Flintstones and Snagglepuss for DC. He's co-writing and like helping create the universe of Speed Racer with David Pepose. And then David Pepose started out with his own indie stuff. He wrote a like what if what's the tiger and the little kid book, the comic that everyone what's the
the one with the imaginary friend or whatever.
Yeah, like the comic strip that everyone loves. I can't remember. Like
I know what
who you're talking about too.
But like it's based off of that. It's called Spencer and Locke. Yeah, Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah, he took the concept of Calvin and Hobbes, and he basically made it. What if Calvin grew up and he became a detective, and Hobbes is just like his partner, and they solve crimes and stuff. He wrote 2 really good volumes over at Action Lab, but then Action Lab went to shit and stopped paying their writers, and now he has to wait for the rights to revert back to him. But like then he went on to write Savage Avengers and Conan for Marvel, and then he got noticed by Mad Cave and Dynamite, and now he's writing all these properties. And it's like you have 2 people who really care about like old-timey shit writing really good shit, and it's so good and nobody's reading it.
It's so frustrating because nobody is reading it. I think whoever I can't remember who the author is, but the Herculoids was my mother is still my mother's favorite fucking cartoon. Shit is from the fucking 50s, and Herculoids is absolute fucking peak. I said, oh my god, why is nobody reading this? I do not understand because Herculoids is so damn good. Yes.
I didn't hear about it. And it makes me mad too because like DC fucked up by letting all these properties slide out their hands because they had a really good thing
because
going
Peter Cannon was a DC property too, and Peter Cannon went back over to Dynamite. Peter Cannon turned their ass up over there. I said Dynamite is not playing with y'all.
Like
Dynamite and Mad Cave is not playing with y'all.
I still think the dumbest shit DC did was let Mark Russell write Flintstones and Jetsons, and then let somebody cook with a Scooby Apocalypse, and then they let the rest of the properties just fall off. And it's like y'all had such a great idea here with these properties. Like you made Scrappy Doo jacked as shit, and then you let it just fall apart. Like what are you doing? It was so good.
To get to the comments real quick, it says get some people like physics majors on the show. There's people that study the same field as McDuffie. They study like comics too. Yeah, Midnight Comics. I'll have Lloyd on at some point. That's been the homie for a minute now. Impound, I've seen him around, but I think he's Hollywood. I'm not gonna call him Hollywood. Certain people.
Impound's on his own grind. Yeah, that's more of the vibe. He's on his own grind.
Yeah, certain people don't answer DMs when you send DMs out. Some people are more receptive to it. I get it. When you get to a certain level, you get flooded with them. I understand that. Now, I will say, matter of fact, hold on, give me 1 sec. There's a book in here that I bought at the shop. We'll get to this in a second. Hold on.
I don't like the man from Impound.
He bought a wide.
I mean, like, I have to respect Impound's grind. I respect what he's doing, but like, maybe it's just me. But when you name your entire label after your main character, something just don't feel right. Like,
well, you know what? Actually, I can't say that because Aspen Comics. Before Aspen Comics went out after he died, Aspen Comics was good as shit. And I said when I did Aspen Matthews, when I did her comic book character you may or may not know about video, when I did hers, and I said at the very end of it, I said it, and people were like, I don't know if I believe you, but I really want to. I said Aspen Matthews could quite literally take on Aquaman and Aqualad and fucking sweep. Period. I said that, and people were like, I don't know if I believe you. Then they went and they found Aspen Comics and they went to go read the comic books I was like pulling out for the video, and they were like, I think I believe you. I said you should believe me because they were not fucking playing with that girl and her powers.
Hey, I went and picked this up at the shop. I got my pull list, City of Demons by Wiseacre. I was like, you know what? I make it a point when I go to the shop. If I see something cool that's indie that I'm not familiar with, I'll pick it up just cause. But this is a story. It was a cool story. I'm not gonna lie. It's black and white, so you can tell it's like I think the people they put a little excerpt in it saying that they had tried to get it underneath a different publisher that fell through for whatever reason, and then Wiseacre gave them a home in it. So I'm waiting to see issue 2.
I just heard about Wiseacre. I'm about to look into them.
This is my
Like,
first time ever
they
hearing
followed
of
me.
them.
They followed me on Instagram yesterday. I'm gonna go look at them.
Yeah, this is my first time ever seeing. So I'm gonna probably sit down at some point, maybe tomorrow or tonight before I go to sleep, and do like a little quick video, like talking about this. But
Since we brought up Oni, have y'all been reading Crownsville from Rodney Barnes?
I have not.
Yo, this book, Rodney Barnes is like the king of horror books that like nobody talks about.
It's on my list. I haven't read it yet.
Imagine some Tuskegee Air shit where like there was a black insane asylum that started like kidnapping black kids off the street and started experimenting on them to try to like cure cancer and shit like that, and the kids just started dying, so their spirits got trapped in the insane asylum. But then some of the kids got deformed and their DNA was altered, and they wouldn't die, so the white people started burying them alive behind the insane asylum. And then once this like retiring detective got a tip from his mama, who was a nurse there, and she was on her deathbed feeling bad about it, he goes to the insane asylum and finds out all of this. And issue 2 ends with one of the hands breaking out of the ground, and you're just like, oh shit.
What book is this again?
Crownsville from Oni Press.
Yeah, because it's based on the like Crownsville State Hospital or whatever. So I knew about it and I was like super excited, but then I didn't get a chance to go. I didn't get a chance to look.
Oh, it's so good. Like when I tell you Rodney Barnes is the king of horror, like this dude, he just did finished a whole podcast he did for 3 years called Run Fool. It's a whole thing of him just making up stories that his grandmama told him or he heard around, just telling stories, horror stories. And it's so much fun listening to this dude talk because it's just so good.
I'm gonna read that. I got 2 more books down to check out because I'm finally glad I can stop. I can be done with Ultimate Wolverine now. I'm like, okay. There's too much more. I had too much more. Like literally, my list was like absolute stuff. Witchblade. What do I have back here still that I was reading? I think I started Roots of Madness. There's a couple other books. I'm reading a lot of shit. It's random at this point, but I need to get like another like actual storyline that I want to get into. But moving into the next topic, I think the next thing to talk about. It's something that I've spoken about like twice now. I recorded my own video that's coming out soon on it, and we talked about it on Then and Now. But Jim Lee did an interview recently with Dextero. I'm not familiar with the publication of Dextero. I don't know. I guess
I thought it wasn't Dextero. I think Dextero just covered it. I thought it was like a Japanese publication that talked about it.
Never mind. There's like a million fucking links for it that I've seen around. But it does make sense though, because Dextero seemed like they didn't have they had direct quotes from it, but I just assumed they did the full interview because I saw direct quotes. And I was like, oh yeah, sure it's them. But I just have the little post here that's bringing it up. And here's some highlight points here. He says that he believes manga and anime has a leg up on Western comics. He says, I often find myself wondering what is missing in Western comics and why aren't they able to achieve the same flavor. I think manga has an advantage over American comics, which are mostly about superheroes, and that's where majority of sales and readers are concentrated. In Japan, it's closer to literature, and anyone can read it, and it's not just hero stories. There's a much wider range of genres, like stories about cooking and soccer, and you can draw stories from that. So I'm very happy that manga has been so successful because it gives a goal to aim for. Now, this being said, before I get in his ass, pause. I want to bring.
If you rock with Jim Lee like that, brother, no king shaming. But like,
hey, he can look and do it.
I mean,
there are 2 things I want to give him grace on. One, his point about the way this is seen in the respective countries. I do believe that Japan looks at manga as a more respectful form of literature than America does. I think a lot of people in America still look at comics as this childish form of storytelling, especially even just the medium in a whole. Because I remember I think Steven Spielberg had some weird shit to say about comic book movies not being at a certain, like he didn't see them in a certain light. So we as a whole have our own issue in how we see these things, even though they still take up a lot of the entertainment still, for whatever reason. They make so much money, yet we don't give them the respect that I feel like they deserve. And I will also give him the point in the whole idea that superheroes dominate the market in regards to sales. That being said, I do get a little irritated here because part of me feels like, okay, because I've had time to think about this. I think the first time I covered it, I really just killed him and called him out of touch, which I still think Jim Lee's out of touch to a certain extent. But in this interview, to your point, if it's like a Japanese publication, I feel like it's him trying to like parlay and kind of like get in the good graces for potential like more crossovers in the future and working with a lot of those Japanese studios.
So I don't think he's out of touch is where I kind of want to hit on the nail. I feel like he's throwing at the wrong, like he hit the wrong part of the dartboard is how I like to put it, because he has a point. I just feel like he's not talking about all that could be said here, because if he wasn't telling the truth about the superhero issue, that DC wouldn't be bringing Vertigo back. Image and Boom wouldn't be cooking as much with non-superhero books. Is that there is something to be said about what manga is doing with the cooking and the basketball and the ice skating and the hockey and things of that nature. Like, they're making money by telling other kinds of stories. Then Vertigo's coming back. They should have never gotten rid of Vertigo and just tried to show off Batman's dick. That was the dumbest thing they ever fucking did. And they should have just kept Vertigo going. And they lost the opportunity there, but they're bringing it back. But then you look at, like we talked about, Batcave, Vault, Image, etc. They're having like great stories coming out. But then you look, freaking James Tynion is an IP farm right now. That man has made like Something's Killing the Children. Department of Truth is coming out. You have Exquisite Corpses is making banger right now. Like, all these stories that are being optioned into TV shows, or Beauty just came out as a TV show or movies. And it's like, people are enjoying non-superhero stories. So to an extent, he has that correct, but the problem is, like we were just talking about, when it comes to the narrative or the perception or the cost and whatnot. The issue at hand is when someone thinks of a comic book, they think of Batman, they think of Superman, they think of Spider-Man. They don't think of a Crownsville or a Something's Killing the Children, despite them knowing they exist. They don't think about it, or that people will find out different properties that were made into movies or TV shows were comic books. Half the populace doesn't know that Hulu's biggest series right now is Beauty. They don't realize that it's from a comic book. So it's like, a lot of times, a lot of different properties started with comics, but they don't care because it made into a good TV show. So they don't respect the art form. V for Vendetta was a cultural reset, but they didn't know it was from a DC Vertigo comic book. So it's one of those things where the medium isn't as respected as it should be compared to manga, where manga is seen as a literature and an art form and whatnot. So Jim Lee's right there. The other issue that he doesn't touch on, though, is price. Like, you can pick up a volume of a manga for dirt cheap, and then that has like 2-3 issues of a comic book, versus a comic is like $4.99 these days. What? You're asking someone to commit multiple issues of a series per month, per week, whatever, and versus a manga volume that has 2 or 3 of what you just picked up from the comic shop on a regular basis. That's unrealistic to some people.
Yes, in a second here before I get back to it.
I was going to say another thing that didn't get touched on is the fact that Marvel and DC are character driven, where the indie comics and manga are story driven. So, and I love when people say, oh, I really only care about the characters, I don't care about the story. You're full of shit, because you sat there and you read the entire story. And the story is not character driven. It's talking about the entire story. Your favorite character just happens to be in there. You may be character driven, but that story is not. That story is very much story driven. It's giving you the full scope of the story, where the characters were doing this, doing that, blah, blah, blah. And one of the things that I really like about Mad Cave and Dynamite and Boom Studios, Oni Press, fucking Image, they push the story. They push these different stories, and a lot of people, when it comes to comic books, they can't get into comic books because they are story driven coming out of manga. So they are looking for a good story, but they also want it to be about a character that they saw or that they like. So when people are like, where should I start with Storm? You can't, or where should I start with Batman? Where should I start with Superman? Bitch, you fucking can't. You need to go back to 1927 and goddamn pick up the first book. I don't know, because you can't. Everything is connected to everything everywhere, goes back to the past. Everybody's doing something that's connected to somebody else that ends up being connected to somebody else. Yeah. And manga just doesn't have that. They have the story. Yes, you're going to get a flashback, but it's still going to be in that same one book.
I would challenge that frame of thought from the whole idea of there is so many different versions of characters and different stories that have like if I go and read, let's say, the Blackest Night run, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, they're going to make allusions to prior Green Lantern and stuff. But I know me as a kid, when I read it, I understood that story fully, and I didn't have to go back and read 15 other books from 40
to her point, though, I'm going to give you a perfect example of why she's right. Look at the 2025 League of Comic Geeks top 10 most highest rated books of last year. It was all Image books, one Daredevil Christmas issue, and then 3 Absolute books: Batman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter. What sets the Absolute universe apart from Absolute Batman versus Batman right now by Matt Fraction? If you open Matt Fraction's Batman right now, you have to know who Batman is. You need to know who Tim Drake Robin is. You need to know any random character, any random villain that Matt Fraction brings up that is from the past, and all the context of that. You need to know who Damian Wayne is, because they brought Damian Wayne in recently because Batman and Robin's getting canceled, and all of that. Versus with Absolute Batman, all you need to know is Bruce Wayne is poor and he's trying to fight crime. That's all you need to know. Is that he broke, his dad died in the zoo, because it shows you in the first issue, and then he's mad at the world and wants to fight crime. Versus with manga and indie books, manga and indie books are brand new, clean slates. You could pick up Assorted Crisis events or news from the Fallout or different Image books. The Fallout is so good too. News from the Fallout is a perfect example, because the same guy writing that is writing the Ultimates right now, Chris Condon, or Ultimate Wolverine, Chris Condon. So look at Ultimate Wolverine, News from the Fallout. Both are great starting points because they don't bog down their universe in old shit. It's brand new universe stuff, and I think Marvel is stupid because they're ending the Ultimate Universe when DC's making bang for buck off the Absolute Universe, and it's just people enjoy the idea of they don't have to think of how to get into something from the past. Granted, I still live by the philosophy that Stan Lee said every comic could be someone's first, but this new generation seems to be very confused and don't know how to go back and read Wikipedia or read old books. They don't want to dig like I do. They want to know who's here right now, right when, right there.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They are very story driven, and they want it to be a full-fledged story in the beginning of the story that they're reading. They want it to be full-fledged out so that they understand what's happening from point A when they go to point B. And it's just Marvel and DC have not been able to just do that.
Although I agree with that point, because I do think that's a big significant factor as to why there's a big boom. It's recently been a big boom of a bunch of new or returning comic book fans because of the Absolute stuff. I get that. What I will also challenge is the whole aspect of, I don't think people try. I don't think people read. Because again,
I agree.
What a lot of different books.
They absolutely don't.
Again, I've been returning. I was reading and kind of in and out of comics for a long time. But 2 years ago is when I really dove back into reading full runs, and I started back heavy with Blood Hunt. I didn't read any of the Blade solo run that led up into that showcased how he got to where he got to. I knew general knowledge about Blade and general knowledge about all the members of the Avengers, and I read that entire run and enjoyed it. The only person in that story I did not know about that I had to have read beforehand is Brielle, and that's because she was a brand new fucking character that I'd never seen.
But that's
what
I'm saying. Having general knowledge of characters prior to is different than people who are just now diving in. Exactly. So there are people who are just now diving in, they'll see your video, they'll see JP's video, they'll see my video about about a character or a story or something like that, and they're like, ooh, I like that, I want to get into that. How do I get into this without becoming lost? I can't give you that answer, because the way that we got here, the story that I'm telling you right now about how we got here, there's 42 other stories that connect to this person and this story before you get here. And then they're just like, well, how do I start? And I'm like, I really don't have that answer for you.
It works in reverse from what I said about the static compact thing. Like it's the reverse of, hey, where do I go from here? It's they don't want to have to look back. It's a matter of they want to look forward, and that's the big issue that we have right now, where like people want to only read forward. They don't want to dig back. Like me, you, like we want to dig back as time goes on, but people look and see, oh, Avengers just hit it was not 1,800, or Amazing Spider-Man's about to hit 1,000 in December. What the fuck? 1,000 issues of a comic book? You expect someone to go read that? You out your damn mind. Like they don't want to read that. So like versus like Department of Truth by James Tynion. That thing's on 35. What is that? 5-6 trades for $20 each. They can go pick up at their leisure. That ain't that bad. Versus like it could be so much worse. And they ask, hey, is there something before that? No. It's just Department of Truth. All right, cool. Something's Killing the Children has hit like 30 something. That's a couple of trades you can pick up here and there at your leisure. Not have to stress. But then you look at, say, Wolverine. Wolverine has how many damn miniseries, ongoings, things of that nature? People are confused. Krakoa happened to reset everything. Like, that's confusing.
A lot of this is packaging. I don't look at this any differently than I look at people. Like when I look at One Piece, right? What's the main conversation around One Piece? It's like the length of it, right? And if you want to watch it, I'll give you a guide on what to skip. Whether that be with One Piece, with Dragon Ball, or Naruto, I'll give you a guide. Or we see them repackage that anime with Dragon Ball Z Kai. Now they're about to redo fucking Super in different arcs now.
But it's a linear story.
Yeah, I get that. Well, depending on a lot of that stuff is canon, depending on, because a lot of this is skipping the fucking filler shit. When it comes to Bleach or whatever it may be. I think a lot of this is packaging. Because a lot of these stories, to your point, I think it's the number that intimidates people. If you take that entire Amazing Spider-Man run and say, hey, this is Amazing Spider-Man whatever, and you put it in Omnibus, or you say we're going to put it in 4 or 5 different, I think they need to start re-releasing some of these stories that they have that are phenomenal. Because a lot of these stories that are all, again, if I look at the Blackest Night, right, for me, that was my big introduction into the Green Lantern universe as a whole, and that's where I fell in love with a lot of different characters. If you re-release the Blackest Night in a few trades, you maybe re-release it at a cheaper point, because, again, to your point, I think people get intimidated by the numbers, intimidated by the whole aspect of this being old. Versus
no, because like I'll put it the perfect way, like just to break it down for you. Like if I had a Joe Schmo, like for like who was like in high school or like these days, Blackest Night. I'll even, because I just reread Blackest Night recently. Right. Then they're gonna be like, who's Barry Allen? Who's Hal Jordan? Why are they back from the dead? Who's Ray Palmer, and why does he want to give people paid? Why is his wife dead? Why is he upset with the Dimneys? What happened to Sue Dimney? Why is everyone super upset?
Having to go and then having to have somebody go through identity crisis.
Oh, bro! Then you look at, why is Batman dead? Why the fuck is Batman dead? Why is everybody dead? When you think from a smaller person's perspective, a person with no background knowledge of like the medium, when you think of it that way, and you're like, damn, they're gonna be fucking confused. Versus you, who's like seen the animated series here and there, probably watched JLU as a kid, probably watched Young Justice here and there, or X-Men the animated series. You have enough like third world knowledge to get like to be okay to a certain extent. But then you give some random kid Blackest Night today, they're gonna shit their pants, because they're like, what the fuck is going on? Why did this person just get their heart ripped out of their chest because they felt some compassion for their dead wife? They're gonna be like, what just happened here? So it's a different dichotomy.
That's why I don't whenever I do videos, and I'm just like, and they're like, oh well, can you explain to me? I said, I'll explain it to you in a YouTube. Like when we did Blood Hunt, when we were going through Blood Hunt, I read the entire background story for everything that happened, and I made a video for it specifically because if I was going to make individual books for that, somebody was going to have a question about how we got here, and I said, no, we're not going to do that. I'm going to explain the history of this to you so that when I do the little mini videos for the offshoots and the one shots and whoever the fuck and all this other stuff, y'all ain't about to ask me a single goddamn question, because now I've given you background on who's in here and where you're supposed to go and what books. I gave you a list of books and you can go read them. You don't have to know anything else prior to that. You should be good. And then people were still like, well, I've never heard of Moon Knight before. I'm going to kill you. What are you talking about?
So,
What are we here?
I think there are two different people we're talking about in this conversation. There are the people that are like, they're aware of these characters because they've been tapped into movies, shows, whatever it may be, and they're just like out of the loop. And then there are, to your point, the brand new people that don't know any, like people that are casuals. I think there are different ways to market. In my mind, I'm looking at people that are tangentially like, okay, I want to get back into comics, but I don't know where to start. Cool. That will give them these older stories. Well, hell,
that's fine.
Do that. Yeah, that's fine.
Because I think half the time with these people, they don't even know these stories are old until you tell them they're old.
That's what happened with the Static thing. Is that like people thought the new DC Compact Edition was like some new shit DC put out they could pick up, but then when they go to Nicholas Draper Ivy's Twitter account, they're like, "Hey, when's the next issue of Static come out?" He told me in an interview, he was like, "Bro, do you know how many people DM me asking when the next issue of Static is coming out?" Like, you know how frustrated I am that I can't do more right now? Like, it's like they want to do more. It's just sales weren't where they were supposed to be, so they couldn't do more. And when you tell people that, you feel like you're guilt tripping them, like how we have this current situation right now where like white people feel bad for racism, so they're trying to eliminate all the racism in schools. It's like, that's what you have the issue of comic fans where it's like you don't want to smack them in the face like Uncle Ruckus and be like, read, nigga, read. It's like that's the truth, is that you didn't read it, so you don't get more of it.
And then they're always like, well, where is it? And I'm just like, in the fucking abyss, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I can only tell you what I have here right now in front of me. And if you don't read it, then if you're relying, and people are like, oh, I started buying comic books because of you. Thank you for that. It's canceled, but that's fine, right?
Like, do you know how upset I've been? Like, I remember how upset I was when Secret Empire happened and they had to go on a whole fucking apology tour with Mark Waid to fix Steve Rogers' image after he was a Nazi. So they took the shield away from Sam, gave him a new costume, and was like, hey, you're Falcon again, and we're going to give you a new sidekick, even though your other sidekick's still called Falcon and is over here on the Champions. We're going to give you a new Patriot, which doesn't make any goddamn sense, and we're going to have you be the Falcon again, and we're going to team you up with Dr. Voodoo for 3 issues, and then team you up with Blade for 2 issues, and then we're gonna cancel you because no one bought your book. And I'm over here sitting here interviewing Rodney Barnes, and I'm like, this is dope as hell, but no one bought it. And it's like, this is what I deal with, where it's like there's so many books, Black Panther and the Crew, Black Panther World of Wakanda. Those books got greenlit because of how many people went from the movie to the Amazon account and bought that first volume of Coates' Black Panther, but that they didn't follow through and went to the comic shop and bought more of the single issues. So the miniseries got canceled. Either they were supposed to be ongoings and have like more content for Black Panther fans. They got canceled.
So I think there's a 3-pronged attack for this.
Hold on, y'all.
Okay. You want us to wait on it? You just want to come back?
I'll be back.
Okay. So there's a 3-pronged attack for this. I think you need to have for this, because to our point, there's 2 different people that we're talking about here. We're talking about the returning fans, and we're talking about the brand new fans. For the returning fans, like I said before, repackage stories that they may not have heard of. Like,
for sure.
Like with this new Daredevil season coming out, like we're Born Again, we should have been repackaged Shadowland and like try to tell people, hey, this is the suit. Same suit here. This story's a thing there. And then,
that's what the compact editions are doing pretty much. The compact editions are doing a pretty good job of being topical, because they put up the Fractions Hawkeye around the same time that the Hawkeye TV show came out. They're trying to be somewhat subjective about that, but obviously they're going to say, hey, print takes time, like money takes time to move different places. They're doing a decent job. It's not perfect by any means.
Ahead of time, though. That's my thing. Like, if you know these projects, like, these projects have been greenlit to be filmed or produced like years in advance. So you're not like, is you doing it last minute and saying, "Oh, we didn't have time." It's bullshit because you know about this. You have knowledge. Hell, if I, as a regular person with no insider knowledge of Marvel, know, hey, there's a rumor that they're filming or pictures of on-set photos of them filming Daredevil Born Again now. I know in like a year's time, I'm probably gonna get Daredevil Born Again. That lets you know in that time period, you should probably be looking at re-releasing or at least writing a story based around that. So for the people that are coming back, I'm making sure that I'm re-releasing stories that are relevant to the, because how many times have you heard, especially with Superman, oh, this story is based off of All-Star Superman. And I think they did it to an extent where I saw a bunch of reprints of All-Star Superman in my comic shop like right until the movie came out. They did great on that. I picked up one because I never had one. I never had it before. I wasn't able to buy comics when that was out and when it was going on about, so I bought a reprint for it. You need to do more of that. You need to make sure that these reprints and these stories that you have already that are amazing stories that are big points in time and for you as a company, that they're being re-put out when things are.
I think the issue is that like they do that, they just don't promote it well. Like they do repackage. Like Civil War 2 was coming out, they gave you a brand new collected version of Civil War, but like, and granted they gave us Civil War 2, but that was a hot mess. But like, to your point, the Blood Hunt was coming out. They were going. That was all linked to Blade, and
right.
But like Blade didn't pan out.
And they promoted the fuck out of that. They promoted the fuck out of that book. And everybody thought it was everybody thought that was the movie. They thought that was the fucking movie. So to your
or
point,
like or Eternals was coming out. They gave you an Eternals event, Eternals X Avengers. That didn't really pan out that well.
But to your point, yeah. Release those books, promote them well. Secondly, the thing that they've done horrendously, and I look at Mr. Terrific Year One as like the perfect example of this. When you do have something coming out that's going to put a character or characters in a cultural zeitgeist on the internet for a while, because Mr. Terrific was a household name for months, you then need to capitalize on that character's popularity by giving them either an ongoing or a substantial run and market the fuck out of that.
Well, to be fair, and I don't want to be fully in DC and play devil's advocate here. From what I've even heard from outlets and the writer of the miniseries, DC didn't really see that great of numbers for the book. They didn't really see that great of numbers for the first few issues because the first few issues came out before the Superman movie. It wasn't until after the movie came out that they were like, hey, people are interested in Mr. Terrific because he's black and autistic and cool and shit. They want to give a shit about Mr. Terrific. And then it was like, oh, well, I guess we'll do a reprint. But like the first issues came out and it's a situation where it's like they didn't expect. It's the same thing with Black Panther. They put out codes as Black Panther to tie into the movie. They didn't expect that shit to sell like hotcakes. But it's also like it's one of those situations where are those fans gonna be here in 6 months to a year when we go from a number 1 to a number 6, 7, 8? Are you still gonna pre-order? Are you still gonna come pick it up? Because if you don't, then DC's not gonna give a shit. That's the big issue that we're kind of dealing with right now.
So no. What's good, Chuck? Love seeing new faces in the chat. Appreciate y'all so much for coming through. But to your point, are you telling me that they put out a book about a character before the movie involving the character came out, and we're so confused as to why the book wasn't selling? That goes into my whole thing of like, there needs to be a more closer form of communication between the two. Because that is something that's amazing about anime and manga, right? Is that there's this direct correlation between the source material and the anime, where a lot of the times either a new issue of the manga or fucking bulk collection or whatever else is timed with releases of certain shows or releases of what's going on at that point.
Yeah, that's why they did the hiatus for Attack on Titan because the manga wasn't finished.
Yeah, so I'm like, why the fuck are we? Because I'm looking at something like Invincible. I think Invincible is like the perfect example of how to do this in the right way, right? To where. Because we look at anime as essentially the greatest form of promotion for their source material as there possibly could be. Invincible is, for the most part, there's some stuff that changes substantially, but for the most part, it's a pretty close adaptation of the source material. And you have people getting invested in certain characters and certain things about it, and they can go back and reread this entire story. Granted, to your point, this is a one like straight through cohesive story with one character with images. It's not like somebody who's been around for 40 fucking years or 75 years when you're looking at somebody like Batman. But they time that stuff correctly. And they're timing out a fucking Invincible video game along the time of the new show. So it feels like they have a tighter knit circle in regards to communication. I'm so confused as to why there's so much lapse in communication and coordination between the DCU and all the projects they have coming out in the comic side of things. I don't know why there's such a big
because
gap there.
because the comic book people before James Gunn took over, the comic book people for DC said fuck them because everything that they were doing was getting pushed to the side or pushed to the back burner when they started doing the TV shows. Like they were coming up with these new ideas, like for Vixen. And what did Vixen get? A fucking animated TV show at 3 o'clock in the morning on the CW
So,
that nobody fucking
was
watched.
it like a special? It was like a fucking 30
No,
minute special.
No, it was like a whole season.
It was like an hour or half an hour thing that was cut up into little mini-sodes that was shoved onto the CW app. It wasn't even put
at
on
3
TV.
a.m.
Yeah, you already did that. It was like a Catwoman.
They had they had two 25-minute episodes on the CW at 3 a.m. That's the only reason that I even saw it. It was on the CW on TV. I just so happened to be awake, and I was like, Vixen, what the hell is that?
Right.
And then I go look, and I was like,
it was the same animation that they used for Young Justice and the New 52 stuff, and they had the Arrow and Flash guest star.
But like, they went for Catwoman.
Well, Catwoman was like a specific little anime project where like it was a specific thing, it was a movie. But like, I think they even had Jade. Yeah, they had Jade from Victoria's voice, KK, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But like even for that though, the issue with DC though is that they've gotten the raw end of the deal, kind of like what happened with Blade, where they will play it with them for certain things. Like they redid all of Aquaman's shit during Dan Abnett's run and gave him the beard again, the long hair again, gave him freaking Samoan tattoos as a white man, which was weird as hell. And they were like, we're gonna redo Aquaman's whole thing and push it around this time. And they even had a Justice League event with Aquaman and all this, that, and the third. But then Aquaman got delayed. And then they started pushing more shit with Barry and Flash. And then like Flash got delayed again and again and again. And it's like they would try different things with that and they would get burned. So DC, like Danny Dio was very much like, I'm not fucking with y'all no more because y'all ain't doing shit. And even when Danny Dio left, they kept getting burned because things got delayed and confused. And then Gunn came in, and Gunn, to an extent, has done better about that, but it ain't perfect because they know that stuff can get delayed or changed or whatever. So the comics are moving on their own dime right now. Same thing with Marvel. Marvel just had Doomsday delayed, 5, 6, 7 times? Before that, it was a Kang movie, and like they made Kang the main villain of the Avengers plot for a hot minute because of that. Like they've tried to do crossovers to that extent, but when it's stuff don't align because of delays and cancellations.
I think theirs is more. Marvel does more of their things after the fact. The only thing I feel like they've done prior to, the only thing I remember that them doing prior to was when they made sure to, and I like to say this because people like to play in my face, they made sure that Wanda and Pietro were not fucking mutants.
Yep, they did. They
still aren't.
Because Axis came out and Wanda was so mad at Magneto because of Axis that she went, we're not mutants anymore. How about that? And it was like, what? And people were so confused by that. We were like,
when she said something to her dad, when she said something to Magneto, and it was supposed to affect their blood being mutants or whatever the fuck, and nothing happened to her and Pietro, and she was like, Nani? Huh? What are you talking about? What is happening right now? So when I said that, and people were like, oh, but she went to Krakoa because her father invited her and he lives there. That was the only way that she was able to get there. Otherwise, she would not have been able to.
And like Hickman tried to patch it up, but like Disney at the time wouldn't let them fully patch it up because even when Krakoa came out, the Fox deal wasn't done. So like they didn't fully patch in the whole Wanda's a mutant or Pietro's a mutant again because of the whole thing with Fox. So like that was a whole dig to make sure that didn't happen. Or like look what conveniently isn't talked about anymore because Disney owns the mutants again. The Terrigen mis-sterilized all the mutants so they couldn't have kids anymore, and we just conveniently don't talk about that anymore. Isn't that funny?
And then I said, because what's his name has a daughter. Pietro has a daughter with Crystal, who is an Inhuman, which can't happen if he's a fucking mutant. And I keep saying that, and they're like, well, he's the exception. No, he's not the exception because he's not a mutant. You're not listening.
He's the exception. It's crazy fucking logic.
He's the exception. Are you insane?
It's insane, bro.
But they did get her back to her Romani look, and I said that's fine because my cousin, whom I love so much. Happy birthday
Is it
to
the cousin
her.
I think it is?
Um,
Hey
the
boo. Hey
happy birthday
boo.
to her. My cousin, and I talk about these things a lot, but there is somebody who is a mutual friend of me and her that works over at Marvel on things, and I said something about the solo Wanda project
The
that
recent
I
one?
did see. Yeah, the solo Wanda project that I saw on Facebook, and I
Yeah.
said question mark, and he was like exclamation point. I said, don't fuck me.
It's so funny how like Steve Orlando has been able to convince Marvel to let Wanda be darker. It's so funny how that's worked out recently because like they had the Wanda miniseries that got canceled, and then now she's Sorcerer Supreme, so now she's back.
Like the
That's like
Wanda and Vision shit last year that was kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Wanda and Vision. She was darker in Wanda and Vision. She's been darker in the Avengers story too.
yeah, she has.
She's been darker, and now she's just like full Romani looking with her outfit and everything, and her the cape for the Sorcerer Supreme. I can't ever remember its fucking name, but it's her skirt. And I said
the
that is actually really good for the Romani heritage that y'all were fucking complaining about all the goddamn time. So now you have it back. So shut up.
Yeah, it's cool, but for sure. But it's very much one of those things where like that had to be fought for because like you even have the weirdo like fanboys in Marvel Rivals who like only play with Wanda's MCU skin because they petty. It be like that sometimes.
this shit. So how do we fix this then? Because at least from my perspective, it seems like all this shit is mostly due to a lack of miscommunication or just them not wanting to play ball with each other when it comes to Marvel and DC as far as their side of things. Because for the most part, we understand with indie stuff, like with Beauty, with Invincible, with those type of titles. I think Exquisite Corpses got greenlit for a show or a movie at some point soon.
It just got greenlit for live action. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not going to see too many issues with those because they seem like they're going to be more in line with what was going on. But for whatever reason, all this miscommunication is fucking up a lot of shit with Marvel and DC, and then on top of that, they're already listening to their accountants who are only worried about the return on investment for a lot of these books. So it's like, okay, how do you go about planning? So at least in my mind, it's one, let's cut out how many fucking books we're doing, because the fact that we have Absolute Batman, the ongoing Batman run is like 160, 170 something issues. I think is Gotham by Gaslight still going on? Is that still going on?
Yes.
Yeah, Gotham by like Batman has. I think I did a video talking about it where it's like in like March or April alone, between Batman, Batgirl, Nightwing, Batwoman, all these different books, there are at least 16 to 17 to 18 like Batman or Bat adjacent titles at DC, and it's like, don't get me wrong, I love me some Kate Kane, and Kate Kane's needed a new ongoing for a long time. But like, when the fuck is Duke Thomas gonna get another fucking book? Like you know how many fans be on Twitter or in my DMs or my comments asking for a Duke Thomas book? I still think like I
instead of doing Duke Thomas, they introduced Bronze Tiger and what is Lady Shiva's son. And I said,
yeah, what's that nigga's name? I know you're talking
Jay
about
Jay Tiger or whatever the fuck. I said y'all could have just did Duke Thomas for this. I know. Honestly. And then he keep getting his ass beat. What? Please.
I still think like I remember meeting Scott Snyder like the day after Metal came out at a con, and I was like, why did you do this to Duke? Why not leave him as a Robin? Like, why make him be this whole new thing where he just glows bright like a Sky High character and like he has his own thing during the daytime? Like, you act like Batman never fought crime during the day. The hell? It's such a weird concept. We ain't heard not damn thing about that boy since.
This shit kills me, bro. It's because it's there. To your point with the K Kane thing, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm more so excited for that because they treat her like they treat niggas on February, where it's like, okay, it's Pride Month. Hey, come on out, big dog. We got something for you. 5
Man,
inches
her,
right
Midnighter, and Apollo, they both begin.
First of all, and that's why I say, you know what? I have my favorite couple in Marvel will always be Hulkling and Wiccan. They are my absolute favorite fucking couple, period, point blank. Midnighter and Apollo are my absolute favorite DC fucking couple. Agreed. And they never give them anything. And I'm like, I am so sick of y'all. I got
something for you. I got Stormwatch number 4 right here.
They're my favorite couple. When they got married, it was so fucking cute.
I just see they gotta do better, bro. This is again. At the end of the day, I'm about Black, so I want you to do better because you have characters that I'm fans of. Like again, Jon Stewart, like one of my favorite, if not my favorite character all times. I would love to see him be meaningful in stories. I'm enjoying the Sojourner stuff.
I don't want to throw too like maybe it's also a perception from the creator's perspective as well, because there's some headspace from the publisher that bleeds down to the creator mindset a little bit. A perfect example is T. Franklin, God bless her soul. She hopped on TikTok recently and she had a fan who noticed that she has a Vixen totem tattoo and was hoping that at some point we would get a new Vixen book.
Is this the writer that she had she has her
Harley
own mental health issues or whatever? She said that's why she got blackballed from working with
okay. And like she invented Sun Spider and like she has her own indie stuff, but she's also writing like Harley Quinn animated stuff for DC. She made a video talking about where she was like, y'all don't support my Harley Quinn books where I put Vixen in there, so why would you get more Vixen? And it's like, that's not entirely the way to think about it. We shouldn't just be happy that we're getting like team ensemble or guest star appearance representation. That's why I clown on Brian Edward Hill so much, because he got a Batman and the Outsiders book that literally was just Batman and the minorities because it was Katana, Cassandra Cain, and Black Lightning. It was literally just Batman and the minorities.
Was Metamorpho or Clayface on that team? Or
No. It was right after Tynan's Detective because Clayface was dead, and it was Black Lightning, Duke, Cassandra, and Katana with Bruce, and it was Batman and the minorities.
Yes, it was. That was it.
And it's like, how can you expect people to enjoy this when it's just you attach Batman to this to make it sell money versus people who actually want representation for their characters? And then even then, when you don't promote it well, when you don't have faith in it, like people are so quick recently to your point of like when I brought up the issue of lack of Black characters having ongoings, people are so quick to be like, gotcha, motherfucker. Well, no, like here's the flip side of that. They don't sell, but the battle that we kind of also deal with when it comes to this topic is white fans can enjoy Batman, Spider-Man, etc., and expect us to still be fans of Batman, Spider-Man, etc., love those characters because we were forced to imprint on them and enjoy their stories and their narratives because it was the default, because it was all we ever had. But if we want a Black character, like if we want a Miles Morales book or if we want a Black Lightning or Mr. Terrific, we have to rely on our own people and maybe a couple Black fans, like for the sake of the joke, you gotta have some Neil Patrick Harris's from Undercover Brother come in and be down with the cause. You gotta have those people to actually be down to read those kind of books. Like a friend of mine, Dow, he is one of the whitest like dudes you know out there, but he is such a diehard for representation. He loves Black representation. He will pick up Black characters. Those are a dime a dozen compared to a Batman fan who expects you to be down with Batman because Batman's Batman. Or like people are real quick to use the Stan Lee line of, oh, he made Spider-Man have a full face covering mask. That way everybody could imprint on him and have their favorite superhero be Spider-Man. But then you tell a white fan to pick up a Miles Morales book and they'll be like, nah, he Black. I want to read Peter. Well, if Spider-Man's mask can be for everybody, why can't you read a Miles book? And they shut up. And it's like, that's the issue that we deal with is they don't want to imprint on our characters because they don't have to. They don't have to. That's the issue.
I think there's another battle that even makes it even worse is the idea of there's a lot of internalized self-hate within us where we inherently don't look at a lot of like when you try to give somebody like milestone characters, for instance, like if it's not Static, because Static is like again he's cool with the whites, he's a safe Black. But if you say, hey, read Icon, well, he's just bootleg Superman, right? No, check him. Like
my whole soul was hurt just right there.
I've had that exact conversation with niggas that I grew up with. So, I'm like, no.
To what you just said, I made a the thing that made me blow up about all this was I made a video and a Twitter post within like a month of each other where I said black folks don't actually care about static because all y'all want is a TV show or a movie.
Mhm.
Because if you actually cared about static, Milestone
You would
Returns
want him to have comics.
right, Milestone Returns would still being published. It's not. You don't like, and we would actually have an ongoing book right now, but we don't. All we have is Static Batman or Batman Static Beyond, but even then, that's only a 6-issue mini. We're not getting anything else to our knowledge until we find out what's in this Dakota Incident book. So we are living in and even before that, Static had a New 52 book that lasted 8 issues, and people are real quick to be like, "Oh, well, I didn't like the writing of that. That gives you an excuse when we ain't getting shit else."
Yeah, that's not the
Like,
point.
and what's so funny is if you go back, I'll even send you the link later. If you go back through all my replies on the Twitter thing, so many people are so quick to be like, I don't want comics, I want a movie, I want a TV show, because you don't care about reading because your brain has malfunctioned because you had no actual reading education in high school because you got passed through your grades because there was a No Kid Left Behind program. So you don't actually know how to read and don't want to actually read books. So all you care about is TV. You keep expecting Phil Lamar to pop back on a television screen and say, I'll put a shock to your system, rather than you actually reading a damn book. And that's a whole different battle in its own right, where you don't want to actually pick up the book because you don't value the book. You want Ryan Coogler or somebody else to come in and say, I'm going to give you a static book or a static movie, rather than you actually go read what a black writer is actually putting out as static right now. Like, I remember when Vita Ayala and Brian Edward Hill and Reginald Hudlin were on Twitter begging people to be like, please, FOC is coming for these milestone books. FOC is coming. Final Order Cutoff is coming. And nobody was paying attention. And even right now, you're seeing Joseph Village and Morgan Hampton and Stephanie Williams up on Twitter and Threads and IG going like, FOC is Monday. FOC is Monday for this Dakota Incident book. And people are waking up now because they're putting some like push behind it, and I'm caring about it and y'all are caring about it. But like they didn't care back then. So DC's like, why should we care now?
I already knew black people did not care about Static when they kept insisting that the comic book character's name was Static Shock. So
that's, you know what, you brought up an amazing point that I've thought about it, and what really made me think about it really heavily was the Kai Snatch shit recently. The literacy rate for not even just Gen Alpha, for fucking millennials too. If we keep it above, for a lot of millennials, niggas can't read and niggas don't want to read.
There's niggas who went to school with me that don't read these days. I try to hit them up. There was a thing where I told people, hey, one of the producers from Bel Air wrote a really good book called My Government Means to Kill Me. And they were like, I don't want to read. Why the fuck would I want to read? And I was like, the fuck?
And what's crazy is that there's this endless cycle. And that's part of the reason why, like, I love and hate comic book YouTube to an extent, just comic book creation as a whole. Because what happens is, movie or show comes out, they love movie or show, they say, oh, I want to know more about this character so that I can feel like I'm superior or more intelligent when I go to talk to my other nerd friends and be like, I know about this story. They then go to YouTube or TikTok, wherever, and they look up stories or the backstory on this character, and they have us who gives them a synopsis of this character for promotion, but they take it as, oh, and now I have information I can flex to make it seem like I know more than what I do. It's either with us or they'll do that shit with New Rockstars, because they'll fucking give them all the Easter eggs for this random fucking X-Men book from 50 years ago that is an Easter egg for this thing. And it's this endless vicious fucking cycle of people watching content creators to get the fucking facts, watching the movie, and then now they want to act like they've read all these stories when, if I ask you 2 questions about some shit that wasn't in somebody's video, you don't know. Because you need to read the shit.
Here's a really damning thing, and I'm gonna do my best not to speak ill of the dead, but I used to call it the comic historian problem.
Oh man,
because you have the generation of fans that don't like to actually read. They like to be read to, or they would rather pirate the book, because they say we don't care about the corporations. So they're no, because don't get me wrong. No. Have me or her or Rob from Comics Explained, because he got caught doing it, used like screen caps from the pirate websites for videos. We all done it. But like, perfect example I talk about. Batman and Static. I spent so much time trying to promote Batman and Static for DC, which they should fucking pay me for what I did at this point. Where I was like, I had the writer, the artist on my show. I was making videos talking about it. Like within a week of that book coming out, not even the end of the week, from Wednesday to Friday, there was already 8,000 clicks on the pirate website for that book. And like if you cut about like a fourth of that still because of like people who go back and read it later after clicking it once, because that's how like netcode and shit works. If you cut but go back to a fourth of that, that's still 2,000 people that could have picked up that book and helped bolster the sales.
It's tough.
How sad is that?
It's tough because part of me is like, because I make it a point, I don't ever read a book on a pirated site that I haven't already bought, or it's not already in my pull box. So I'm like, all right, cool. I've already supported this book, so now I'm doing this for the content side of things. Or if I'm not making a video, if I'm not making a video on it, I don't. I just go ahead and just buy the book, read the book, call it a day. But part of me, and it's tough because part of me wants to say, only allow things like, I feel like DC and Marvel or just publishers in general should have that, like have sites like that for creators at that point. Because if I feel like if 70% of your marketing for your books is just giving free copies to creators anyway, nigga, just give us access to like a back catalog of your books so that we can help promote your stuff for free, especially if you're not going to pay them per video. At least give us that, or we can look at this shit and get easy access to this stuff.
I mean, to be fair, I've started screen capping DC Infinite and Marvel Limited because I felt bad, but even then I have to like drag and clip it myself. So like, I do what you're saying.
I have where they send, because Read All Comics gets theirs directly from Marvel and DC and whoever the fuck else. So I will go grab them for content purposes. I stopped buying comic books because every week I was spending $200 on my pool.
But see, like,
and
but like,
I'm just like, oh,
right. But like, and to what she's saying is that like I've even said like that's an issue in its own right. Is people need to learn how to curate their pull list. It's like unless you're a content creator like us, where like you can use that as a tax write off. Like if you're a brother trying to make ends meet, where you got to choose between food and a book, I definitely feel for you. But how about take off that DCKO off your pull list? How about take some that Batman that you know it's going to hit trade in like six months and it won't get canceled off your pull list. Like you know it's gonna hit trade and it'll be fine. How about you care about the Black Lightning, the Black Panther, the Mr. Terrific, etc., or care about the indie book versus the big event? Like, but I don't want the fear of missing out because my friends are talking about it on TikTok. Well, how about just wait a few weeks and read it on DC Infinite a little bit later and actually feel like you did some shit? Like that's what I tell people all the time.
And even then,
I like, but for what you call it, for Blood Hunt, I think Blood Hunt is probably the most recent that I spent. Well, no, it was Blood Hunt and Absolute Power, where I spent the absolute fucking most money because they were coming out every week with fucking comic books, and that's when I spent the absolute most money, and that's when I was just like, I am not doing this again for a good minute. And then, of course, one of my friends one of the writers who had sent me the book from DC, he was like, please just use this website and go read them up until this point that you go buy the book. I was like, yeah, probably. Oh my God. Every week? Please.
I will say you're a fiend though. Outside of, I will say Blood Hunt was the only time that fucked me up because they had a ungodly amount of tie-ins that didn't even fucking tie into the story.
I will even throw DC a bone at this. I like what they're doing with DCKO, where they've even been like, hey, those extra tie-in books that we know you're not going to actually buy, we'll put those on DC Infinite for free. We're not even going to worry about that shit. Like, they should do more of that, of put the tie-ins on the apps for free. Because, you know, like, as long as you, like, because why else would you want to buy that?
I'm not buying fucking Jack the Ripper.
I'm not buying any of the DCKO books because I think this whole event is dumb as fuck. But
I don't like this shit either.
I hate this fucking event. But I do have a folder in my Google Drive. It's the 7+ folder because there's like 20 books in there for DCKO, like specifically the DCKO story, and then all of the tie-ins are just like kind of sitting in there. And I will get to it when I get to it. I said I'm going to be behind because I don't care. But yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it.
What I will say, even then, like, you have to, again, because she's a fiend and she just reads an ungodly amount of comic books. Bro, I have probably, between all the Absolute books, I put in Cyberpunk 2077, the Chrome one that Doug Wagner's doing now, I have like almost 10 to 12 books in my pull box that I'm currently getting pulled now. All those books though drop like monthly or like at the closest bi-weekly at that, but most usually it's monthly.
Right.
I'm not spending any more than like maybe $30
Right.
on my pull box when I'm going in there. So if I have that many books in there and I'm not spending more than 40, that's me who I'm reading a lot. I'm covering a lot of it for content as well. You as a regular person should not have 45. If you have, let's say I'm a Miles fan, I'm a Batman fan, I'm a Green Lantern fan. Cool. You have 3 different books you can pull. And
Right.
all those books are going to be monthly, usually monthly. So you're not spending that much fucking money.
Most definitely. Like right now, like for me, I had everything black. So like I had Black Panther, Mr. Terrific, Storm, and Miles. Miles is ending, so Miles is on my pull list. Storm is out. Black Panther, Intergalactic is out, and I'm picking up some indies because I'm reading Crowdsville. I'm reading a few books here and there. I've started a couple Ignition books because they've been talking to me. But other than that, like I'm not buying a whole lot right now. I'm reading via the apps. Shout out to Global Comics because Global Comics is like, hey, if the publisher uploads it, you can read it for $5 a month. I was like, hell, bro, yeah, like that's perfect. Like Global Comics is a great resource because they straight up are like, do you realize you can read almost every Spawn compendium for $6 a month? Like that's a great deal, bro. Because I'm on this challenge right now to read all Spawn books.
I sent all of the Spawn comment, like Spawn happened. I mean, started what
93.
93.
Yeah.
Read all comics has every issue from 93 up until whatever fucking recent shit it is for free.
Yeah, my black ass, that shit was so good. I put my own.
I sent it to Betty because he was like, "Hey, can you give me like every single issue of Spawn?" And I was like, "Are you paying me to send you those?" I said, "Because I have to copy and paste each picture and put it in a folder." He's like, "Yeah, I'll pay you." I said, "Okay, I'll set aside a day, I guess."
See, I just pay Global Comics $6 a month. I'm like, I'm not doing all that crazy pirate shit.
Oh, you're insane.
Yeah,
that's $6, bro. That ain't nothing.
But it's the whole thing. And then to Dreamer, shout out to Lucky Dreamer, another dope comic creator in the chat. He's
hey, what up, Dreamer?
He knocked where he can write it off as a tax write-off. Hey, I know you can write it off as a tax write-off. I just haven't done it yet because I'm still scared.
I haven't done it yet.
I did.
Yeah, you can do that shit. You can do it. I did it for my gaming stuff because I got to a point where I was buying so many Destiny expansions every year that I was like, I'm not writing that as a tax write-off. So I had to tell my account that I switched from gaming content to also adding back in comic content. And he was like, all right, just tell me what you're buying and I'll just write it off. I'm like, shit.
I did.
Because that's my main thing. I'm just now an adult. I know I look old as shit, but I'm about to be 27 this month.
I just turned 30, and I realized that like the LLC stuff ain't no joke. Like I'm about to look into like trademarking some stuff. Trademarking is expensive. Be careful.
Why the fuck am I the oldest one sitting here?
Cause never mind. Let me stop. I'm gonna set some shit.
Don't get yourself in trouble.
I know. She'll cast a fucking spell on me. But that being, I was like, yeah, bro, this tax shit a little scary. I just for the first time wrote off my own taxes and shit. I need to find a tax person that can help me put all this shit together. Because me doing it on my own, or me trusting my mother to help me do this shit is a no-no. Because I'm not getting into
I do that shit on my own.
Yeah,
I did it the first year on my own, but like I just started talking to a dude, and it's been kind of nice to actually like have some comfort in that.
What were you about to say? Him over there. What were you about to say?
I'll tell you later. I'll tell you off cam. But yeah, it's been.
Dreamer just said in the chat that he got 27 books pulled for this month. Brother, you tripping? You tripping? I ain't got time for that. I'm as frugal as Terry Crews and everybody hates Chris. I don't got time for that shit. You talking about 27 books a month? You got me fucked up.
Literally, the only thing that slowed me down is me paying for my own book now because it's not cheap. And then content still. I'm still paying like to help get an editor to help me get certain shit out because I'm still in grad school and then doing work full time. So it's like. When I saw,
not gonna lie, I would probably have about that much. I would do
that shit too. I ain't gonna hold you. Because part of me, I miss collecting. I didn't get to collect as a kid. For me, I only I tell the story a couple times. But for me, the only time I was able to get comic books was when on the military base, they had this thing where if you bought in your report card, if you had all A's or all A's and 1B, they give you a coupon book with free shit in there as a kid. And comics had this magazine, so I would get like 10 free comics from that shit. So I would go get like trades for Blackenstein or whatever was in there. But that was like 2 times a year I would get books. Now that I'm grown and I got adult money, nigga, I'm buying all the books that I want to buy that are cool as fuck. One of my best gifts my friend got me was I got a fucking first issue of the first appearance of Static back here. And I'm like, that is like that's like my prized possession that I fucking own. It's like I have that thing, which I want to try to find the fucking first appearance of John, but I know that shit's out. I know it's expensive as fuck. It's expensive
boy.
as fuck.
Yo, go collect. Just follow me on Twitter. Let me look this up. You said first appearance of John Stewart.
John Stewart. Yeah, I was like what 66, 64?
Oh boy,
it's like the one where he's like holding fucking Hal.
Yeah, he's like holding Hal's body and shit. Yeah. Because that book is not cheap.
I know that's just expensive.
Like I was trying to look at Blade's first appearance. Blade's first appearance is fucking expensive as hell.
87. That's 87. No, but that wasn't 87. Well, that had to be in the 70s. I know.
So he said he had for this month it was 27 books for the month.
Yeah.
Mine would be looking at all of the things that I do read for this week. My pull box would have 19 books in it.
Yeah, because you're a fiend. We're fiends.
Shut the hell up.
We're crackheads. I get it. I
love how I'm the only one that like schedules my hits of my crack apparently because I don't like spending that much money on books, bro. Because I did that when I first got into content creation back in 2016. I was like, I'm buying this and this and this and this and this. I ended up getting broke because like especially when Civil War II was going on and they had all them damn tie-ins. I was going like if it weren't for the fact that DC and Marvel started sending me press copies of shit, I'd have went broke. And that's when I stopped buying for a hot minute where I had nothing left. I was like, I'm reading this shit for free because they're sending it to me. I ain't buying shit.
The only thing that's been saving me is
for sure, I would have Immortal Legend Batman in there because it's very anime-ish. And I really, really like it. So for sure I would have that in there. So like if this week is 19, next week I think would probably be about 15. I don't know.
Actually, Green Lantern 87 actually ain't that bad right now. You can probably get a copy of it for like $200-300.
Oh, nigga, say less. That's for me. That's for me.
That ain't, you can even get like a CGC one for like $400 or $500 if you really want to play around.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that shit. When I get some money up for my birthday, I'm gonna get that shit because that's a collector thing for me. But that's like a personal thing. But literally,
collector figure that out for me.
Literally, the only thing saving me right now as far as buying books is the fact that I've been buying so black and buying so indie lately because it's been spaced out. Outside of Absolute, literally everything else that I'm like in my box is indie or fucking whatever maybe. So it's monthly to like buy monthly releases. Like, I think I have Witchblade and Darkness in my shit now, and I'm like, oh, it's not back to back, so I'm cool. I don't spend that much that often. But yeah, we've been on this shit for almost 2 hours now. I didn't mean to hold y'all there for that long. I apologize.
I'm good. So.
But yeah, y'all, this is so we'll end on this because this is supposed to be one of the topics. Favorite writers. I know Kaori does not keep up with her writers whatsoever, so I had her like come up with some kind of a list for her favorite writers.
Oh my god!
Give me your top 3 writers right now. That if a story got it, let's say this person said, "Hey, I have a new book coming out right now." You just like immediately in my pull box. Immediately, I'm pre-ordering the shit.
Me or her?
Both of y'all. She a fraud, so she don't really got that in there. She a fraud.
First of all, fucking relax.
Damn, called her a fraud. That's crazy. Right now, if Rodney Barnes publishes anything, that man is in my stack. I don't give a fuck. Rodney Barnes is a legend. People don't care about him as much, and it makes me mad. Rodney Barnes is like forever in my stack. See, I'm a fraud like her because genuinely, like 9 times out of 10, it's not creators, it's characters. But because if it's anything black, I'm on deck. I'll say anything indie from Stephanie Williams it's in my box on site. I will say that. But like if she's buying Wonder Woman, I'm not really that worried about it. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you.
They're not gonna let her do a whole Wonder Woman run in general. They're gonna give her a fucking
right like
special here. Oh, Newbie again. We'll give you Newbie again if you want to do her.
I keep saying that, like, because Stephanie Williams has put on Instagram that she is a pitch for Vixen. I keep telling people that if DC would just elevate Vixen to the level of like the Beyonce of the Marvel universe or the other DC universe, it would sell gangbusters. Like, have like Bruce Wayne wear a suit that says McCabe on it or some shit. Let her be the like fashion designer of the whole DC universe. It would sell gangbusters, but they don't want to do it. It makes me mad as hell. And then for like two like another creator, I don't know. I don't really mess with. I would say Tynan, but I'm a fraud because I don't buy every Tynan book because like Tynan publishes too much shit.
I felt that.
Like I would love to like read more Tynan, but like brother publishes too much shit. I would say. I don't know. I'll give you Williams and Barnes, but I can't really give you a third right now because mostly I'm a character driven right now. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I've been exploring more of the writers just because I realized there's like I think most of my shit for it is the fact I've been writing my books recently. So I'm like I've been trying to like take as much stuff from people that I enjoy to be like, okay, what are they doing to make this so enjoyable to me? What can I take from this and add to my own fucking shit?
Now I will say there are writers that I will defend till the cows come home, but I won't buy all their shit. Like Tynan, Al Ewing. Al Ewing is one of the greatest writers of our time, but no one ever cares about. Al Ewing wrote one of the greatest Marvel books ever to be published, which was Ultimates, the one that had Captain Marvel, Blue Marvel, Monica Rambeau, T'Challa, and America Chavez.
He gonna keep a nigga on his books.
Right, no, but like that team was the most powerful team to ever be on a Marvel book ever. To the point they literally took Galactus from being the World Eater to the Life Giver. They turned that nigga from purple to orange and made him be about. They took him from one soda to the other color and made him actually be about some shit by all their power and mind power together. And I was like,
right.
Like honestly, like and like the book just ended, and I was so mad about it. They literally had Monica Rambeau and Blue Marvel fuse into the most powerful thing in the Marvel universe, and then we just stopped talking about it. And I'm like, a white man made this shit with all these black characters? Like it blew my mind. So like Al Ewing, James Tynion, whatever. Like those are two writers that I will defend till the cows come home. I will say that. How about that? That's what I will say. It's like, will I read everything they put out? No, because like I don't got that kind of money. But like those are two that I will defend with my fucking bare hands. You could try to come from that, we got a problem.
Yeah. Kara, do you want to go before I go, or did you muster up anybody?
Okay, since you're being smart ass, I would say Doug Warner because Fashion School Serial Killer. Yes, it was amazing. Marguerite Bennett, the one who's writing Witchblade.
She's fucking phenomenal.
My girl, because she knows
exactly
how Witchblade is supposed to go. And then the writer for fucking Blue Falcon and Dynamite, because obviously he knows what the fuck he's doing. I think his name is like Jimmy Palmiotti.
Oh yeah. Him and Amanda Connor, they're a duo. Those two put in mad work.
This nigga. First, I think y'all there's some overlap. So Al Ewing for sure. To Dreamer's point, I think people, for whatever reason, for me, Absolute Green Lantern is one of my more favorite books out of the Absolute shit. It's like Wonder Woman and then that book for me. And then Batman right below that in regards to like what I enjoyed the most for him, because I love the way he's writing it. I will say I understand that the way he's doing the emotional light spectrum is kind of like different and kind of, I think it's so different from what we're used to. It's kind of weird. I'm trying to understand more of like how it operates, but the way he's been writing Sojourner, the way he's telling his story or telling her story, the fact we have her in general, because I think initially I saw somewhere that he wanted John and they were like, no, you can't have John. Then he was like, well, what about Sojourner? They're like, well, sure, nigga, go ahead. He was like, yeah, we'll put the black woman in front of this.
Also, you know what's really funny? How like because not everyone's paying attention to Absolute Green Lantern. That book is gay as shit, but you don't hear any of the comic skaters saying shit about it. Ain't that real funny?
I think it's because they made her toxic. They made her and her fucking ex toxic as fuck.
Right? Fucking smoking cigarettes, pissed off as fuck all the time.
It's like, hey, I cheated on you, but you can't be too mad. Just get it over. Get over it. Al Ewing. Doug Wagner, I think that nigga's. I think I asked him a question about this the other day because I DM'd him and I was like, bro, I don't know how the fuck in a world where people beg and plead to try to get characters ongoing series, you somehow become a master at putting a tight, concise story in like 5 issues or less. Some fucking how, because all his like from vinyl to plush to I was a Fashion School Serial Killer, I end up wanting more. But he fucking puts an entire compact story efficiently in 5 issues. I don't know how the fuck he does it, because he's doing it right now with the Cyberpunk 2077 Chrome thing he's doing. It's like it's a cyberpunk book, but what
is this book called?
Which one? I was the Fashion School Serial Killer.
I was a fashion school serial killer. Yes. Oh my god.
Dang,
I
What is
fucking
this
love that
book?
book.
brother, you will fucking love this shit.
I was a fashion school serial killer and it's basically just like a version of a respite battery.
She's
Ugh.
murdering people, turning them into clothes, and then bathing in their blood.
Yes, my girl.
So Doug Wagner has wrote an entire serial killer universe inside of Image, where like every 5 issues.
Oh,
he's
this is the
another
motherfucker who
person.
wrote Narco. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Which I'm supposed to have him on for another interview to come back and talk about Narco when it drops. But that nigga, bro, I'm so amazed at like how much he packs into 5 issues. Because I don't know too many people that can pack a concise story in that short of a time. I don't know how to I don't know. I asked him, and he just gotta be doing shit. It's just I guess a gift he has to put.
Oh,
in
he wrote Vinyl. Oh, that's what I know him from. He wrote
Vinyl,
Plush,
plastic, yeah.
Yeah, plastic and plastic death and dolls.
That's his whole little universe he's put together. And then I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer is the most recent entry in that until I think Narco is going to be another entry in that.
This man must do some serious drugs. Like, oh my god,
bro! I did an interview with him like last year. He looks like the most clean cut white man you will ever see in your life. Like he looks like because I think he lives in Utah or some shit. He's like a white man from Utah.
That's why he lives in Utah, where he can't really be himself, so he just lets it out through his writing. He's that motherfucker.
So I'm like, how do you write all these stories about people eating each other or fucking skinning each other? I'm like, you do this? All right, cool. I expected somebody with hella tats with fucking like somebody really alt looking. I'm like, no, regular white man. I'm like, and he's a cool dude. Dude, amazing guy. Because he's given me a lot of game love. He helped me out a lot with starting to get Reaper off the ground and like how to set some of that stuff up. So shout out to Doug. And then the last person, I have become a Stephanie Williams super fan. Like I'm off Cole. I love her and anything she does. I beg and plead, DC, please give her an ongoing Vixen run. If you want to give the niggas any kind of a bone, give us an ongoing Vixen run written by Stephanie Williams, please. And then I obviously can't forget about Moewa. Moewa is just nigga. That Storm run did so much for me.
My heart breaks for him right now, bro. My heart breaks for him because he's so stuck in a hard place right now where the book is doing so good between the first one and then Rogue and Storm and now this, and then like he tried to tell the community on Twitter like, hey, this is an ongoing, support it, pre-order it, etc. And then you look at the solicitation and it says of 5. And then I reached out to him and was like, hey, you said this was an ongoing. What do you mean? This says a 5. He straight up told me, I don't know. They're not giving me a straight answer. And I was like, damn, bro. That is some fucked up shit.
I was such a fucking fanboy that year. I think I bought a variant cover. I stopped buying variant covers just because I realized, I'm just spending excess money for no reason. But that book though, nigga, this shit right here. Hold on. This shit right here, nigga.
This is what happens when niggas get together. We be here for 2-3 hours.
Bruh, I love this shit. I'm like, why does she look amazing in this? I need this cover. I needed it. I didn't know why I needed it, but I needed it. And I paid extra money for this shit.
Did you see how many variant covers there are for Earth Mighty's Mutant, bro? There's so many variant covers for that book.
I'm like, I'm part of the problem, but I don't care because I needed her thick ass and these fucking chaps busting out the fucking seams. I needed this shit.
Look up the Pablo Villalobos cover for this first issue next week. I want you to see this shit for Earth Mighty's Mutant #1.
Let me see. You said who? Pablo what?
Villalobos. That's gonna be a pickup right there. They got her in the Savage Land just stunned.
Nigga. Oh, I'm indeed a sick Negro. All right, let me really close this out. Shout out everybody pulling through. We had like 90 viewers throughout this whole stream, which I think is one of the higher ones out of all. This stream in particular, I didn't expect to do as well because it's just a comic book stream. The other one is like pop culture shit that I do on Tuesdays. But this shit may have outperformed anything I've done so far, like as far as like congruent viewers. So I think a lot of that is you because you're fucking bringing in a lot of essence. So thank you so much for coming on, bro.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.
I was like, I like this guy. I think I first encountered you when you did. I think you like you stitched the X-Men, the woman representation video I did like a couple like last year at some point.
Yeah, it was the magic video because like I had just got off that because that whole controversy was so stressful because I was trying to talk about the issue, and then because like deadass, I saw someone straight up on Twitter say they wanted to scalp Tim Seeley.
Oh, wow.
I was like, you really want to scalp a whole ass white man over a comic book? Like, granted, as an assault survivor, my heart breaks for Ileana, but like this event isn't gonna matter in 6 months. But there's no reason why you should be this upset over a comic character. There is no reason you should be saying you want to fucking scalp a person over a comic book. It is not that serious.
What's crazy, gang? When I made that video, I didn't realize how deep the hate was. I just saw it as an avenue to talk about women's representation as a whole in comics. After that shit, I was like, oh, niggas are mad.
Oh, they were mad. The thing about it too is though, like a lot of it comes from the fact that like some of the like Twitter Marvel fans or just the hardcore fans, all they do is pirate books, or they just know about a character because of those couple of different controversies and just want the character to be better after that. And when they see something that resembles those controversies, they get frustrated. And it's just like, I get it. I know you're frustrated, but like you can't just react in the most hostile way like that. Like there was motherfuckers wanting Seeley's job. They want Tom Brevoor's job. And it's insane. Like,
I said, when that happened, I said, it's very interesting that y'all are acting like that for her, right? But I didn't see when y'all first discovered Identity Crisis.
Oh,
y'all weren't acting like that. Y'all weren't acting
Identity
like that.
Crisis,
You're
like Identity Crisis, like the fucking the fridging thing. Granted, like Gail Smoke made her bones off the fridging shit with Kyle Rayner, but like that was a rarity where DC was like, "Hey, you could do better," and she said, "Yeah, I could do better," and that's what led Gail's whole career. But that was a dime a dozen, so it's very interesting to see how women are treated in comic books. Granted, there's a lot of shit going on with the Wonder Woman community because of Tom King. That's a whole episode in its own right. But like, there's just an issue in comic books where women are just being mistreated, and it sucks. And it's a very much worth discussion. But then you look at how Black women are treated in comic books, and it kind of just goes, oh well, shit.
It's a gunner epidemic. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a bunch of people that are just overly horny, overly sexual, and everything relating to women has to be sexual. Because when I tell people about Captain Marvel, I'm like, hey, what would you need? What would you need to get her to be back in your good graces? I understand she got character assassinated in Civil War 2. Well, first off, let's get her back in her OG costume as Miss Marvel. I'm like, so she has to be in thigh highs and a bodysuit for you to take her seriously again. Interesting.
Do you know the struggle of one Carl Manverse, Cap? Do you know about Carl Manverse?
Mm-mm.
So there was this issue right after Civil War II, and when they announced that Brie Larson was going to play Carol, where every variant cover, every cover of the Mighty Captain Marvel and the Life and Death of Captain Marvel, whatever the fuck it was, where all these fucking gooners, these comics gators, started calling Carol Manverse instead of Carol Danvers because her outfit didn't make her sexy enough. So these dudes created a whole persona about calling her Carl instead of Carol because all they want to do is goon. It's like, brother, can you put your dick away for 5 minutes and just read a book? It's so ridiculous.
I discovered this one character that's like first of all, the character is racist as shit. But I didn't discover that character for that reason. It just so happened to be the reason that I discovered that she even exists. And it's because, and everybody's like, oh, well, the comic is old. I don't give a fuck, actually. Her name is Angel Food McSpade. To start. And the entire time that she is in a comic, my girl is naked. She's from Africa and she's naked the entire time.
Where have I heard
of this from? And I did a video on her, and I think you commented on it when I did it a while ago. I
remember this.
She gets sexually assaulted by a white man every issue. Every single issue, every single one.
It was Zap Comics, like way back in the day. This is the old. This is
Okay.
back in the day
Now,
when we
the
were big
reason that
lipped and dark
I
and shit.
Yes, now the reason that I discovered this, not because it was racist and that her name was fucking Angel Food McSpade. I discovered it because there was I don't even know how I ended up on this side of TikTok, but this white man got on TikTok and was like, if I were to ever fuck a black girl, or well, this is how I want my black women to look in comics, and he put her picture up there, and I was like, what the hell is that?
brother. And I'm all
They were like, if it, and then he goes, if they ever put Vixen just completely naked in DC Comics, I swear I'd buy every single copy. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What is happening right now?
porn exists. There are plenty of OnlyFans creators that like cosplay as character. You can go find that. It's there. I promise you, it's there. And I get it.
And the comment, it was the comment section for me. It was the comment section. They were just like, if they made, like, if they did this with Nubia, they should do this with Nubia. They should do. They were like, if they had all of the black women looking like Angel Food McSpade, I'd be picking up every single copy. And I said, how did I get here? How did I get to this part of TikTok?
No, Cap, you don't understand. I just took a second and re-looked at what she looks like. You need to look at what she looks like.
Yeah, I need you to Angel Food
that's why I look so appalled at what she's saying right now, because I'm disgusted at what they're saying. You don't understand, because I'm appalled.
Oh, she's Sambo. She's Sambo. Nigga, I thought this was just like how fucking Jim Lee drew fucking Psylocke, and she just thick as shit. No, she's a straight Sambo. What the fuck? Oh wow, you were on that side of the internet, nigga?
I don't know how I got there. I feel like I liked a video of his because he was talking about comic books, and I simply liked the video because I was like, I completely agree with what he was saying, because he was ranting about how many Batman stories there were. And I was like, I completely and totally agree. I don't know how he switched up from ranting about how many Batman stories there were to wanting Vixen and literally any black female character in DC or Marvel to look like her and be naked the entire book, and he would buy every issue. I was like, how did I get here?
And niggas are still selling this. Is there still a place where you can buy this book?
Yes, there are.
There is a conversation that needs to be had at a certain point. I'm not gonna make the video in full on YouTube because I think they're gonna fucking clap my shit. And I just got my monetization back. I like making money in my channel. But there is the realization I've had. I'm like, at the end of the day, a lot of this shit that we're gonna fight for is gonna be really tough because we're still a minority even in this space, even in the nerd space. I think when I first got into this space, I thought that we were a lot more prominent than what we were because I was finding black groups and black think tanks and black conventions. But then I realized, we're a minority in nerddom too, and these white men are going to dictate a lot of what the current status of comic books are because they are the ones that are going to be able to spend the most money. There's just more of them, and they're going to spend money on some bullshit. And it's tough because it's like, I want to keep fighting it, but another part of me is like, nigga, is me fighting it even going to be worth it or even make a difference because of that factor of like, even if we all banded together unanimously, which is nigh impossible, we still wouldn't be able to out fucking sell or out maneuver the masses of white men that would just, again, do what you asked for or do what you or ask for what you talked about in regards to making a Sambo character the reference for characters like Vixen or Nubia.
When he said if they made Nubia and Vixen look like that, I said, what did you just say?
Gang, I just thought it was just like a horny book. I didn't realize it was Sambo.
No.
This is insanity.
Because here's the thing. There do be horny books out there. Like if you look at the bottom of fucking League of Comic Geeks on a random Wednesday, there do be some horny ass books out there in the streets, like Cheeky Comics or Space Between Entertainment exists, where they just like they literally just make dirty ass comics for these weirdos. And if you look on Whatnot, there be whole Cheeky Comic streams, but like there's a big difference between you wanting some gooner shit and you dead ass just wanting like horrible caricature shit.
Yeah, let me clear this up my search history. I don't want this shit popping back up. Let me get rid of this shit. Ain't no fucking way.
I said, and so, you know, of course, me with my just like, when he said the name, I was like, what the fuck kind of name is this? I said, that name sounds racist as fuck, to be like frank. I didn't even know that he was talking about a black character up until he put the picture up there. And I said, huh.
Yeah.
And then I went to go get, and then of course, when I was looking through, when I made my 79-page list of black comic book characters that I found, her name came up, and I said, do I want to do a video on her? And I did do a video on her, and everybody in that comment section was pissed off. And they were like, they weren't pissed at me for making, like, they weren't pissed at me for making it. They were pissed at the fact that the character fucking existed. And they were just like, where did you find this? I said, to be perfectly honest, you don't.
Did you ever make a video about Ebony White? I meant to ask you about that.
Ebony White? I think I did, yeah.
Because like Ebony White is one of those characters that like no one ever talks about. That like Ebony White was the inspiration for Milestone.
Yeah, I believe I did. I really actually was going to go back through my comic book character you may or may not know about list, just to make sure that I don't double up on anybody. But I feel like I did do Ebony.
Oh my god, more Sambo shit. This is.
Oh, you looked up Ebony White?
Yeah,
yeah, Will Eisner, while he was a very esteemed fella, he didn't have the best view of black folks.
I gotta keep clearing my search history because I don't want this shit popping up ever again. Like,
yes, I did do that because they brought her back to DC, but she doesn't look like that. So I did do a video on her.
Ebony White, the spirit character?
Yep. They brought her back as
Ebony White's a dude, I thought.
Okay. They changed her from a guy to a girl. I think originally she was a girl though.
I didn't know DC bought the spirit.
I don't remember, but she turned up on a DC search as the taxi driver. And she was a girl. She was helping somebody. I don't remember who she was helping, but she looked 1,000,001 times better. I was like, oh, thank God.
There's a lot to be. There's a lot of conversation here. I honestly, I talked about at one point trying to get a bunch of different comic creators on TikTok to have like a roundtable panel discussion around a lot of these different topics. I just gotta fucking coordinate the schedules for everybody because it's a lot of fucking schedule coordinating. Because this again, I do think there's a big conversation to be had around the fact we're outnumbered a lot of this stuff. Because I think we've all, like from me to you to Kaori to Ernie to whoever else that's black in the space, have all preached about milestone characters getting their just due, characters or books from Image or whatever may be their black center getting their just due. And whenever I put a video, because I put out 2 videos back to back, which kind of annoyed me that I had to do it on Marvel and DC, popped off in like 2 weeks. And if you look at the comments for all of that stuff, there's a lot of the people we talked about tonight from the self-hating niggas that are just like, oh, it's not going to sell because X, Y, and Z, or I want this character because they're in a TV show, to people that just outright say
Ebony
racist
White.
shit.
White.
I'm just like, gang, what are we doing here?
Yeah, so in this one for First Wave, they made her a girl. But then when they brought her back before that, they had her looking like they had Earth Spirit and it was a guy.
Okay.
So they changed him from a guy to a girl a few times.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, when the name came up, I said, I feel like if I click on this name, it's going to piss me off.
I just remember watching. I don't know if y'all have seen on Amazon Prime Robert Kirkman's Secret History of comic books, but there's a whole episode devoted to Milestone, and the whole like first 10 minutes is all the Milestone founders bitching about Ebony White, and it's like, I understand why y'all wanted y'all own shit because Ebony White was kind of problematic.
It honestly makes me so happy they never fucking sold out to DC with their own shit, and they just been licensing shit off.
Well, like for what I understand about the stuff that happened where stuff got like intertwined, like Dwayne McDuffie's original thing was he signed over the rights to DC. It's just there's certain like licensing issues that they have to still pay the founders money. Like to a certain extent, like Milestone can't just go do their own shit somewhere else. Like DC still has enough tied to it where they can't just go pull off somewhere else. That from what I'm understanding of the issue.
That's weird because I know I watched there's a Milestone documentary on HBO Max.
It's gone. You can't see it anywhere. It pisses me off. I even asked Joseph Village. I asked Joseph Village about it recently. And it's gone, and it makes me mad. I want to watch it so bad. I never got to see it.
Interesting.
It's just gone now. That makes me bad.
Remember they talked about a part of it was like how they initially started and how they were like a branch of DC initially. Because I think McDuffie was like he worked within there as an assistant or something of some sort. I can't remember. But yeah, it's weird how that's set up. I don't know how that's going.
It makes me mad. It's just gone. It's lost media at this point.
Yeah, somebody said it. Blacks in corporate and finance. Yeah, we need to like gather around each other. And that's another thing that's kind of like hard to do when I'm looking at wanting to gather Black creatives up into like in my perfect world, there's a fucking we all come underneath like one banner of like a Black publisher or at least work together to get a lot of this shit done. Because that's what I talked about.
I mean, that's what Hellspawn did with fucking his shit with Blur Station. That's what he's trying to fucking do.
Yeah, and that's I don't know. I feel like there's like such a cap in the bucket mentality with a lot of shit.
Well, and like that's kind of why I started Comics Unmasked, like because I wanted it to be a Black and brown owned operated shit. So like I don't know if like y'all would want to like work under that, but it's like the idea of saying that it's not just going to be the same kind of content creation. It's meant to be it's like actual Black creators like doing real Black journalism, talking about the industry. That was the idea.
I'm sorry, Unlucky Dreamer was really funny just now when he said clear the cookies.
Yeah, I did clear that shit out. I talked to Lloyd over at Midnight Comics, and that was the thing he talked about, like the idea of like we don't all have to be under one company. We can just help support each other. Because he was like, because with Echelon, he was like, hey, we could do a thing to where you take a character that's similar to a character you guys have, and we do a joint book to where you put both your stories in one book and we get a new cover done for it. We can sell it in one thing to help get both those stories out there.
And that's kind of why like Image has done so well, because everything's under its own like imprint, and like imprints can mix and match what they want to, but like Image gets paid regardless. Is why that's the thing, how why they've done so well is that like Image is with the publisher, but every imprint owns their own shit, and that's the idea behind it.
So I'm trying to. We'll see. Just gotta find a spot for it. I talked to Demetrius like one time before, and I'm about to do an interview with Blur's Eye View in like a couple days about Reaper stuff. So I don't know. I think that we need to definitely like try to unify on that stand front, because it's just again literally having this conversation made me realize the fucking almost inevitability it feels like there is for a lot of this shit, because we're never going to get what we need or what we want from DC and Marvel because of the fact we're outnumbered in regards to the whole.
Well, and it's funny too, because I'm excited to talk to Joseph Village about it on Thursday, because like he just did an interview where he's starting his own like production company called Luminous, and he talked about the fact that like owning your own shit, like how Ryan Coogler did the deal for Sinners recently, is very important. Having generational wealth and owning our own stuff is very important. So like while we need to rely on like the big two and the publishers and stuff like that for getting the stuff done, what matters is us owning those properties, us being able to grow those properties off of ourselves. Like, say what you will about Todd McFarlane, but Todd McFarlane is the dude who wrote the book on I wanted my own shit, so I went and made my own shit. So
I saw his interview talking about it. He was like, yeah, I had idea for Spawn when I was like fucking 10, but I kept that shit to myself till after I left DC. I was like, I get it, brother. I get it.
That's wild.
That's the whole thing. I didn't held y'all hostage for almost 2.5 hours now. We're supposed to stop at 2 hours. We're going for another fucking 30 minutes because we're, how niggas do.
Hey man, I'm just glad to be here. Like, if you ever want to just like shoot the shit off cam, I'm down to do it. Like, I love talking insider ball and history. It's what I do. I love talking about it.
Yeah, bro. Let me know. That's one thing I've told myself this year is that I'm really working hard to collaborate more. Because last year it was me trying to figure out what I wanted to how I wanted to build my brand and market the content as a whole. I feel like I've kind of hit a stride with that now. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me start finding more like-minded people that I can collaborate with that I don't have to worry about.
Yeah, he needs more friends.
You said what?
Oh, do you not want to be here no more? Is that what you're saying?
I said he needs more friends.
I need more. You're not enough for me now? You're not enough for me now? Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, I am enough, but You
Okay.
still need more friends.
Right. You and my boo, right?
What?
You and my boo thing. You and my boo thing.
Oh. Okay.
Happy birthday, baby.
You know what? If she's out of the country, so she ain't see this, I was going to send her the link to it. I'm glad I did not.
Hey, you can send a link to it.
You're
Man,
so annoying.
indoor outdoor wedding. You let me know. But yeah, y'all, this has been this has been the third episode of Pull List Therapy. This is a show for people that are new to this. This is where I try to have, well, in general on the channel, I'm gonna have two streams for people that are, again, people that is just now finding this. This is Captain Diesel's Dojo. This is my channel as a whole, where I cover comics, gaming, movies, a lot of horror movies, comics. I said comics already, manga, anime, whatever, anything nerdy under the sun, I will cover it. I'll talk about it. I've done video essays breaking down certain characters, concepts, and I think now I'm doing a lot more commentary on these different concepts and conversations around culture and industry stuff as I'm learning more about it. But if you guys want to be a part of this, please subscribe, like the video because you made it this far. But the two streams that you'll see every week will be the Captain's Lounge on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, where that'll be more me covering pop topics within nerddom that's going on. Last week it was the fucking Kingdom 265 shit with Marvel Rivals, and then Kanye fucking trying to get sympathy.
Man.
And then this stream is Pull List Therapy with me and Dr. Kara Knight. We'll just discuss everything comics. We'll talk about our pull boxes from that current week and anything else that pops up. And then I would love to have more people come on, like fucking my boy JP here, to have conversations like this. I'm trying to pull more comic people that I follow from TikTok over into having these conversations. So again, these will happen every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and again, Captain's Lounge on Tuesdays. And you guys can expect a lot of stuff from me. As far as what's going on for the channel this month for Black History Month, because I know I do it big for Black History Month, I'm doing a reaction/review for a lot of older Black cinema that I had missed growing up. So where I think the three movies are going to be The Wood, Menace to Society, and Boys in the Hood, because I avoided
The Wood is my shit.
I love that movie now. I never watched it. I fucking adore that movie now. But I actively avoided Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society because I had a weird thing about black pain. And
I love Boys in the Hood too.
Yeah, watching it though, I have a newfound respect for it. We'll never watch the shit again, but I have a newfound respect for it because it was depressing as fuck. Yeah. But you can expect those videos. I'm planning on getting a video out about Icon. I'm going back and reading his entire first run with him and Rocket through. I've been enjoying that, and I think I have a lot to say about that character and that concept as a whole. And then last but not least, if you guys want to support me in any other way, you guys can check out my new comic book that I have out titled Reaper. Issue 1 is out on echelongraphicnovels.com now. Or if you guys have Global Comics, you can go read it on Global Comics. But those are the two ways you can go about that. And then issue number 2 is in production now. If you guys want to help be a part of supporting that, you guys can support it through the Kickstarter, which I should have the link for that in the description below. If I don't already have it there now, I'll add it right after the stream.
You got that shirt in a 5X, brother?
This is a 3X. I gotta get made. Literally, I got a one shirt and one hoodie made to wear in videos. So I gotta make
if you make that in a 5X, let me know because I'll definitely get one off of you.
Nigga, I'll send one to you. Say less.
Hey,
I gotta get my money back together. Because yeah, we're gonna be more conventions. Hopefully, Echelon's planning to be at Brooklyn Comic Con, I think. We'll see how it goes. But again, yeah, this published underneath Echelon Graphic Novels. And I have to do my due diligence and plugging Echelon. If you guys are aspiring creators, we do help you guys get your books off the ground. We help you connect you with different artists, colorists, different things like that to make your books a reality. And we can also help you guys with some of the scripting and whatnot as well. Ethan is a fucking guru at that. He taught me a lot that I know in regards to how to write and how to write in a way that's more conducive to comic book writing as a whole in general. So that's one thing we do with for you guys. We're not just making our own books, but we try to help you guys get your own books made. So if you guys are interested in any of that, you'll find that in the description below. And again, if you made it this far in this 2-hour ass fucking video of this stream, it means you enjoyed it to some extent. So please like it. We have had 105 people here. Can we please try to get around 105 fucking likes in the video? I would appreciate it thoroughly and would help this video get out to more people so that we can collect, more like-minded people and then subscribe to the channel. And then lastly, if you guys want to be a part of a community of people that are like-minded to have these conversations one-on-one with us or whoever it may be, you can find that through my Discord server that is also linked below. Where I'm working on growing a community there. I've been really happy to say that I've had a lot of women, especially join the space, that feel like it's safe, that I've had conversations with. So don't come in here acting a fucking fool because you will get banned. I'm quick with that ban button. Let's start that now. But yeah, people will be safe on my platform. So again, it's been a long-winded outro, but again, thank you everybody for coming on. JP, do you want to plug or promote any of your stuff before we get out there?
I'm gonna say no. I appreciate y'all for having me here. But so you can find all my stuff at jpnumber.com. Comics Unmasked is my podcast. We release weekly episodes every Tuesday. I put the Discord link in the chat, discord.comicsunmasked.com. It's just us, like just a bunch of black and brown folks talking about comic books every Tuesday for y'all. We record on Sundays, put it out on Tuesdays. We've been only back at it because I used to have a show called Panel to Panel before the pandemic. I found out while I was on hiatus that someone else had a show called Panel to Panel before me, so I changed it from Panel to Comics Unmasked and have just relaunched it. I've been interviewing creators, been talking with folks who made Batman Static Beyond, different creators. I'm about to interview Joseph Illidge on Thursday, trying to make sure that people are informed. I'm talking to even comic store owners. I did an interview with a comic store owner. That way people knew about what FOC is, knew about how to pre-order a comic book. That way people know what's up and are educated about the medium. I'm trying to be that journalistic bridge between the comics publishers and the fans. So if you guys
are right now because I'm trying to put together a gigantic desk.
Oh wow.
My bad. My internet tweaked for a second.
Oh, he's alive.
There you are.
Yeah, I'm back. It's one of the fucking downsides of working in a building that's old as shit with other people. My bad. Start that over again. You know.
But you know, like I'm gonna say, like the whole point of my show is to be a journalistic link from the publishers to the fans. We try to keep it real. We don't just let it treat it like it's a press junket where we ask 5 questions and get nothing else. We want it to be a platform that publishers and fans can trust. So if you need someone to talk about stuff, I'm here. I want y'all to know that the industry is a place where you can be understood. That's why I try to educate people about the history, because the history of comics ain't really that kind, and people need to know about it. We were held up by a monopoly for 20 years, and motherfuckers don't know about that, and that's crazy. So I just love educating folks. So you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, all those great places, and I love talking about books. That's what I love doing.
Kiora, you want to plug anything? 15 of your channels.
Whatever. The doctor's office, of course. I will actually start putting more things on there as I get caught up, because I was swimming, man. Y'all don't understand, I was drowning. But also book 2 in my Salt Blood series will be out March 18th on my birthday present to myself.
Nice.
Yay.
So if anybody bought Salt Blood, it's still available on Amazon. And the publisher, the Pegasus publisher in the UK, they're going to pull it from Amazon and put it back with the copyright and shit in it. So.
I'm gonna send you just money for my issue so you can sign that shit and send it to me.
You want the one now? Because the reason I haven't pulled it from Amazon is because they're still doing the editing for the first book, and then I'm just doing the second book myself up until they get their shit together, and then they'll pull the first one and put the first one back.
Yeah, nigga, I don't care. I already read I feel like I read the shit already from what you didn't send me all the damn time. Send me the shit.
Look, relax. It was good though.
This has been episode number 3 of Pool is Therapy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And again, y'all remember, forever and always,
you're now watching the captain.
Yeah, he got it to work. That's funny.
Nice, good job.
Yeah, that's just cold, ain't it? All right, peace out.